LA, Vegas, Chicago, New York. With your First Hawaiian Bank United Mileage Plus credit card, you can save 10% on United flights to these great cities and anywhere else in the U.S. Book your tickets at the United City Ticket Office, talk to your travel agent, or go to united.com and use promo code FHB18U. Visit FHB.com/United Fair Sale 18 for offer details and restrictions. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC.
A renewed warning from the U.S. to Syria after reports that the Syrian president has approved a gas attack on Idlib province, the last rebel stronghold.
The news comes about a week after President Trump warned the dictator and his allies not to recklessly attack the province, which is the country's last rebel stronghold. President Trump called any gas attack a potential grave humanitarian mistake and warned, together with France, that any chemical attack would prompt a Western retaliation. Meanwhile, the Syrian bombardment with conventional weapons is now underway, with support from Russian warplanes. Over the weekend, nearly 24 civilians were killed, while a hospital was also bombed and dozens of indiscriminate barrel bombs were dropped.
Fox's Benjamin Hall, National Security Advisor John Bolton vowing a much stronger response to an attack on Idlib than the missiles previously used by the U.S. after chemical attacks blamed on the regime. Even as forecasters track Florence, the remnants of Tropical Storm Gordon ravaging parts of several states, causing flooding that's now blamed for several deaths in Kentucky, Missouri, and Texas. A Massachusetts man accused of trying to kidnap a teenage girl in front of her parents.
Alfred Patterson of Raymond, Massachusetts, was arrested in Boston soon after police say he offered to buy a 13-year-old girl from her parents, holding out a wad of cash, then grabbing her by the arm, trying to drag her away. Police say the father threatened to beat the guy up and chased him before he was found and arrested. Patterson's been arraigned on attempted kidnapping and other charges. He's 20 years old. His attorney says he has some cognitive issues and may not have known the girl was underage. Chris Foster, Fox News.
Recapping Wall Street in the mixed day, the Dow down 59 points to 25,857. The S&P and the NASDAQ, though, higher than NASDAQ, finishing above 7,900. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Hafa-day and good morning. Guam news time is 7 minutes after 6 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. I'm Mindy Eggen. Here are some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The island remains in condition of readiness 1 as Typhoon Mangkhut passed over the Marianas on Monday night, battering the northern part of the island with typhoon-force destructive winds. The government of Guam is closed today with only essential personnel asked to report in. Residents are urged to remain indoors until condition of readiness 4 is announced and stay off the road to allow for emergency personnel to make road safety and recovery assessments. Joint Information Center said at daybreak, agency representatives will head out to conduct an island-wide assessment. There have been multiple reports of impassable roadways, down power lines, and some damage to places around the island. Meanwhile, National Weather Service meteorologist Brandon Adlet says the worst is over. Typhoon Mangkhut, meanwhile, continues west and continues to intensify. Forecasters expect Mangkhut could become a super typhoon later today. Adlet said the storm is expected to graze Luzon and pass between the Philippines and Taiwan, with the core of the storm expected to stay over water. Now, even though things are much calmer this morning than last night, the Weather Service says rain showers are expected today that will bring short bursts of small gusty wind, and this is expected to continue throughout the day. During Mangkhut's passage over Guam last night, NWS recorded 51-mile-per-hour winds gusting to 74 miles per hour. Andersen Air Force Base had the strongest wind gust, with winds clocking in at 67 miles per hour, gusting up to 87 miles per hour. Our neighbors in Rota and Saipan saw maximum sustained wind gusts of 82 miles per hour. The National Weather Service will send a team to Rota in the next few days to conduct a wind damage assessment. The island, meanwhile, received 9 inches of rainfall throughout much of central and northern Guam. At the Joint Information Center, we're told that there is an agency briefing ongoing right now. Sergeant Paul Tapao of the Guam Police Department said officials are planning to make a full assessment of the island. Public Works crews will be prepared to start clearing the roads at sunrise. And the Joint Information Center again advises residents to stay indoors as officials will venture out this morning, making those road assessments, looking for damage. Guam Power Authority crews have already begun assessments as the entire island is currently without power. Crews are expected to resume restoration efforts this morning. Outages began as early as Monday afternoon with the onset of tropical storm force conditions. We'll have more news after the break.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas starts in September. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
10 minutes past 6 a.m. here on the Point. Hundreds of island residents took shelter at several northern public schools to weather out Typhoon Mangkhut and remain in shelters this morning until they're given the all-clear to return home to assess any damage to their residences. Department of Education schools, Catholic schools, private schools, and the University of Guam and Guam Community College have all been canceled. MWR, the Child Development Center, the Navy Exchange Commissary, officers, and Dodea schools will also remain closed today. As well, gates to U.S. Naval Base Guam Main Base and Naval Base Guam Naval Hospital will continue to be closed until directed by military leadership to reopen. For these stories and much more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray now with the weather.
I'm tired of reading weather. I've been doing it, feel like I've been doing it since Friday. What's going on here? Partly sunny, windy, and breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Southeast winds 15 to 25 miles an hour, gusting to 35 miles an hour this morning, decreasing to about 10 to 20 miles an hour this afternoon. Highs today expected near 85 degrees and overnight lows of about 77 degrees. Sunset tonight at 6:25 and the sunrise sunrise was just about 3 minutes ago. It broke the horizon, and I think people are going to start opening doors and windows and clearing off some shutters and seeing what Manghut brought us overnight. As far as alerts are concerned, there's a typhoon warning in effect for Guam. That is going to be lifted eventually as the storm is about 150 miles to the west-northwest of the island. Rototini and Saipan and adjacent coastal waters in the Mariana Islands. The warning is expected to expire at 8 a.m. I don't have any information on what's happening on the waters. We'll see if we can get that answered from the guys over at the National Weather Service as we call them up and get kind of a situation report where we are now. But certainly what happened last night, listening to some of the numbers that you're talking about, Anderson Air Force Base, gusts as high as, 87 miles an hour?
87 miles. So that was what Brandon
It felt like it was going faster. Looking outside the window of the radio station last night, out the J&G doors that we've got in the front, and looking at the wind, and it's making everything shake. And I thought, that's got to be 150 mile an hour wind that's out there. So only 87, maybe? That's
only 87. And that was up at Anderson Air Force Base.
Right. They're certainly not down here in Upper Tumon. We'll see what we can come up with for you. The weather here and our updates have been brought to you by the folks over at Guam Cleaning Masters. You're going to start looking around going, I don't want to clean this up. Call them. Let them do it. Don't take the trouble. They do tree removals and debris removal and disposal and any kind of type of typhoon-related cleanup. Call Guam Cleaning Masters, 646-2002. That's 646-2002. News and weather together brought to you by Bank Pacific. Where others put branches, they place roots.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
It's 6:14. I don't have any information yet as to whether or not King's is open right now. My guess is that as soon as it's safe for their employees to come back to work, then they'll go ahead and start lighting the griddles, and maybe by lunchtime we'll be ready to get out there and get some of that bistec chamorro. That's the big deal on Tuesdays over at King's.
They're going to have extra firewood for a while.
You think? There's that, because there's debris on the road. Just smart guys will start picking up the big logs and doing something about that. But in the meantime, start thinking about lunch at King's.
Fuso trucks are sold, rented, and serviced exclusively on Guam by Morrico Equipment. Available in van body, reefer body, freezer body, or flatbed designs. Fuso trucks specialize in the smaller delivery and service market. Perfect for business on Guam. Serviced by qualified technicians. Fuso trucks are part of the Daimler Truck and Freightliner truck family. Sales, rental, parts, service, and fully maintained lease finance from MorricoEquipment.com. Call Morrico on Ipao Road at 649-1946.
Yeah, 1946 is the telephone number that you want to call. 1966 if you are on their reserve list for diesel. Now that the storm has passed, these guys are in a position where they might be able to top off your Morrico generators on a 24-hour-a-day basis. Give Torgan and the team a call, and he should be in the office in just the next couple of minutes. He and I have already had a conversation, so he's standing by to hear from all the Morrico customers out there. Portions of the program brought to you by American Water Check, Smarter Water, Better Water, Guam Regional Medical City, Micronesia Renewable Energy, the never been a better time to go solar, and American President Lines, they're shipping the future.
The dreaded flu season is here, but FHP Health Center has got you covered. Protect yourself from the flu by taking advantage of FHP's Flu Clinic, open to all ages from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at FHP Health Center on Saturday, September 15. The clinic is free for Take Care members and those with Medicare Part B primary medical insurance, $20 for individuals with Take Care as secondary medical insurance, and $25 for self-pay non-members. Walk-ins accepted. For more info, call FHP at 646-5825.
Yeah. Lori Lynn, Topaznia, say, Ray, any place open for breakfast? We're going to start putting together a list, the openage and closage list. And as far as I know, on the openage list, the only thing I've got right now is Dusitani. We got a telephone call from the pretty girl. What's her name again?
Marissa.
Yeah, Marissa earlier, and at least a WhatsApp earlier, and said, yeah, everything is open, all the restaurants are open. But she didn't get back to me and tell me whether there's any rooms.
Rooms are open for guests.
Rooms are open for
That's
guests.
what she said.
So does that mean that if I wanted to be a guest, I could go over there later on and get myself
I'm sure they can work it out for you.
Hot shower and a shave is what I'm looking for right about now. 6:16 in the morning. Thanks very much. And portions of the program are also brought to you by Wendy's. We'll let you know as soon as they are open. Oh, my God, Wendy's fried rice for breakfast. I'm supposed to talk about the 4 for $4 thing, but Wendy's fried rice for breakfast, or what's the thing, the chicken fried steak with the white gravy on it with the eggs on the side?
Yes.
All of a sudden, that's what I'm craving for. Okay, so it's a hot shower, a shave, Wendy's fried rice, and the chicken fried chicken with the white gravy on it and the eggs on the side, and maybe some coffee. Yeah, think about that at Wendy's.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
This is what it sounded like here at the radio station last night.
That's the Twister scene from The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, you're a nut. You're a total nut here. It's 6:17 in the morning. All right, my total nut producer, Michael Knight, gets the phone when you call at 888-8825. That's 88-TALK. Mindy Uggan from the Guam Daily Post, and we'll talk about the night that she had. And Lori Lynn Tapaznia is excited because Leticia Lujan said Linda's is open. We'll put that on the openage list. However, before I start sending everybody out into the streets, a reminder, the attention citizens, the central government says to stay indoors, continue to shelter in place until the all clear is sounded. Depending on where you live, it is possible somewhere in between the front door of your house and the front door of Linda's, there could be something that is impassable and difficult to get by. And DPW is going to need to do that assessment. So is the Guam Police Department as they get through.
There were down trees right in front of St. John's, right there on Marine Corps Drive. Not too bad. I mean, there's still lanes that are open, but I noticed that this morning. Got a couple of photos somewhere near Somerville. It looks like part of someone's roof fell off, and it's in the middle of the road. So.
Yeah, I played that during the newscast, but I wasn't sure exactly what I was looking at. So again, this over by the Somerville place?
Yes.
All right, and there's a roof.
It was about 2:30 this morning.
Yeah. I was on the road for a little bit. Didn't see a whole lot that was disturbing. There are a couple of places where there's big chunks of trees that are laying down. It's going to take the guys from DPW, the mayor's office, to go through some of these village streets and clear them before too much longer. So, if you're like right next to Linda's, like they're open. Otherwise,
and if we just happen to be on your way home, feel free to drop some by.
Yeah. It was the front door, I think, is open this morning. Brandon from the Guam National Weather Service is on the line. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
Looks like we're going through this all over again. It's try not to go over too much information that we have already presented. I understand that the typhoon warning for Guam has been lifted.
Yes, we just put out the cancellation. The storm has moved far enough to the west, and we no longer expect damaging winds to come across the Marianas or the surrounding waters. So that is very good news. We've been getting a lot of questions overnight, but one thing that we've been reiterating is any rain showers that will pass over the islands today, do expect some stronger gusts because there's some 30, 40-mile-per-hour winds
still
a few thousand feet above the ground. They won't be sustained, won't be long-lasting, but if you're caught off guard carrying something, piece of wood taken off the window, it might catch you off guard.
Yeah, so hold off on that until this thing is well to the west-northwest of the island, about 175 miles away from us now?
It is 160 miles west-northwest of Guam.
Okay, all right, and moving away at a fairly healthy clip, I understand.
Still about 20 miles per hour. It's intensifying still, 125 miles per hour currently.
Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to be the worst judge of wind speed there ever was in the history, because I could have swore I was looking at winds traveling across the front of the radio station windows last night at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and this rain was going sideways and was making the light fixtures on the poles shake, and I thought, well, this is it. This thing is slowed down and intensified right on top of us. What actually happened with the typhoon last night for Guam?
Well, what happened was it was moving by pretty quick, and it looked like there was a little bit of fluctuation in forward speed, so it slowed down just a little bit as the center of the eye came over Rota. The eye opened up pretty large in the radar imagery, but it was still cloud covered, so satellite imagery showed no eye. But once it started moving to the west of Rhoda, that's when the intensification really kicked in. There's a couple of hours of massive burst of lightning, and which kind of preceded that intensification. So even though it was moving away from us, our wind stayed steady, pretty strong, because of that intensification. But eventually, the storm got too far off to the west, and our wind started falling. And we did see a peak gust, the strongest winds out of all of the Marianas that we've seen so far is a 67 sustained wind miles per hour, gusting to 87 miles per hour at Anderson Air Force Base.
Now, you said that's for all of the Marianas, including Rhoda?
Absolutely. Right now, the strongest we've seen out of Rhoda, at least before we lost communications with the sensor, was a sustained 49 miles per hour, gusting to 82 miles per hour. And so this is all preliminary information. We're going to be sending some...
Well, we'll have to wait until the Guam Election Commission can meet and certify the results of your typhoon coverage.
We'll have to figure out how we're going to deal with the statistics of it. And no, we're going to send up a team to assess the damage. There's been some WhatsApp videos spreading all over the place like wildfire of trees bending over and some destruction of shelters or of structures. Now, we've got to confirm whether they were on Rhoda and if they were associated with the storm.
Yeah, that was kind of the fun thing for me yesterday. I was getting all kinds of WhatsApp videos, and the social media was cranking like you wouldn't believe. But it was difficult to tell whether these were images that were coming from Guam or from Rhoda or from Tinian or Saipan. It seems like we're all connected around here. I played the video of a little red tin shack, and as it turns out, losing its roof. And as it turns out, that was in Rhoda.
How about that?
Yeah. Hey, now as far as the South is concerned, I mean, we a lot of concentration on what was going on in the North, still without power up in many places, and folks saying, "Okay, I guess I'm barbecuing for breakfast." Hey, listen, save some for us. We might come up there a little bit later on. But now the South had some serious flooding issues here. Have we managed to get wrap our heads around how much rain fell associated with this storm and about who got the most of it?
Well, so far, the Weather Office is in the lead with the rainfall with 9.4 inches. Don't want to brag about it, but we got the lead. We're in first place. And but Mighty, there's a personal weather observing system that we monitor every so often just for supplemental data. Yeah. Almost 8.5 inches right there in Mighty, 7.25 in Tamuning. Manilau had at least 5.3 inches before the system stopped communicating with us. And but we're waiting to get a phone call for the surf observation from Jeff's Pirates Cove. He has a good 24-hour rainfall. We'll be getting that in the next, probably the next hour. And then we'll be getting some more rainfall readings farther south. But significant flooding from some of the pictures and video we've seen. Yeah. And so we're going to be piecing that together. And but one thing to note was CNMI was a lot drier. The precipitation, heavy rain was just big time on the south side of the center of the storm. Saipan and Tinian both came in with less than an inch of rainfall.
Really?
Absolutely.
Can you imagine? All right, so let me get this straight. So up in Rhoda, there was a direct eye pass, but the maximum sustained winds and the highest gusts recorded so far are from Guam.
That is correct.
That defies logic. Explain it to me, Brand.
Well, we expect it to change when we get that assessment team up there looking at some of the damage. One thing we'll be looking at is the palm trees. Did any of the crowns of the palm trees, did they snap off? Did they break off? The palm fronds are definitely going to fall off, but what type of trees broke and in what direction? That indicates the wind direction of the peak gust. And then also take into account the different structural failures, the roofing, any walls that collapsed. What was the structure of those roofs? Did they have the typhoon clips, the braces on the joints, the style of construction? And so we'll be looking at all of that, and probably in the next week or two. And so definitely, people, if you've got major destruction on your property, get some pictures and. But make sure you can annotate that it is associated with this storm if you hold up a newspaper with the date.
Yeah. so we know what. Yeah, so we can verify what exactly is going on. Are you going to be conducting another briefing for the folks at the Joint Information Center?
Well, Landon has been doing that, and I know he's been in contact with the JIC the past actually all night long. We've been walking like zombies around here. But he's been in close contact with the timing of dropping these typhoon warnings, and I'm not sure if they're going to have another heavy weather brief. I know the Emergency Management Office, they will be doing some more briefings. Whether we have a part in that, I'm not sure, since we have canceled the typhoon warnings.
Yeah. Well, yeah. At this point now, it's just a question of watching where that's going. Now, I hate to be that guy, but when I was looking at the satellite imagery the other night, I was looking and saying, okay, well, there's Guam, there's Rota, and then Mike and I panned over a little bit, and let me put the satellite imagery back on the screen so people can see what I'm talking about. But is there something else around the Marshalls that we need to worry about?
Well, we are looking at another system. There is a weak circulation. Is south of Kwajalein right now. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center, they have put an invest on it, so we're getting a lot of microwave polar orbiting satellite data. It sees through the clouds. It helps us to decipher where the center of the circulation, if any, is. Now, the computer models do pick up on a circulation. They maintain a circulation as it moves westward toward Koshrai and Pohnpei the next couple of days. But by Wednesday, Thursday, they wash out the circulation into just an open surface trough that'll just harmlessly move to the west.
Okay,
so right now we have no concern for any development out of it. But, a circulation in Micronesia this time of year, we're always going to be watching it very closely, and we'll be keeping in close contact with Joint Typhoon Warning Center if this thing does persist.
Hey, listen, as we always say at the end of these phone calls, I'm glad that you were there whenever we need you to get some information, updates, and things like that. I hope that before too much longer you'll be able to secure the computers and go and get some well-deserved rest.
Absolutely. We just got to figure out how to open up these typhoon shutters from inside.
You need me to send somebody over?
Maybe with food.
With
and
food.
Coffee.
Yeah, food and coffee. I think everybody's looking for the same kind of thing here this morning, and they get people cursing at me at their radio and on their Facebook Live. Why did you have to say Wendy's fried rice? I was okay until I heard you say Wendy's fried rice and chicken fried steak and go breakfast at King's and Linda's is open. Now everybody's want to get out there. Brandon, I'll talk to you pretty soon. Give Landon my best and everybody over at the National Weather Service. Thanks very much.
Will do. Take care.
I will, and we have. It is 6:29 in the morning and close enough now. Again, a reminder, all of these broadcasts and updates brought to you by Guam Cleaning Masters. Don't let the trouble of typhoon cleanup enter your mind. Concentrate on breakfast and finding coffee, and let Guam Cleaning Masters figure out how to take care of tree removal, debris removal, disposal of all kinds of typhoon-related cleanup. Guam Cleaning Masters, the number's 646-2002. That's 646-2002. About time to jump into headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Mindy Uggan.
30 minutes after 6 a.m., here are some of the headlines from the Guam Daily Post. The typhoon warning for Guam has been canceled, but Guam remains in condition of readiness 1. Island-wide damage assessments are underway this morning, as well as power restoration, as the entire island was without power during the typhoon. Now, we've already received reports that some parts of Asin and Tamuning have already been restored. Residents are urged to remain indoors until condition of readiness 4 is announced, as well as stay off the road so those assessments can be conducted. National Weather Service meteorologist Brandon Adlet said the worst is over as Typhoon Mangkhut continues west and is intensifying. They expect it could turn into a super typhoon later today. He did say that the National Weather Service is closely watching another system developing over Kwajalein at this time, but they don't expect anything to worry about at this time. Even though things are much calmer this morning than last night, the Weather Service says rain showers are still expected today that could bring short bursts of small gusty winds, and this is expected to continue throughout the day. During Mangkhut's passage over Guam, the National Weather Service recorded 51-mile-per-hour winds gusting to 74 miles per hour, and those up at Andersen Air Force Base sure felt the strongest wind gusts, with winds clocking in at 67 miles per hour, gusting up to 87 miles per hour. Again, our neighbors in Rota and Saipan saw maximum sustained wind gusts of 82 miles per hour. The island also received 9 inches of rainfall throughout much of central and northern Guam. In other news, a Saipan resident filed a civil lawsuit against United Continental Holding Inc. and United Airlines for injuries he allegedly received on board a September 9th, 2016 flight from Guam to Manila. David Jinkin filed the suit in the District Court of Guam and is seeking damages in excess of $100,000 from the airline. According to the lawsuit, Jinkin alleges while on board the flight from Guam to Manila, a United Airlines flight attendant recklessly and quickly moved the food catering cart from a still position, advancing it several rows and ramming it sideways into Jinkin, who was in his seat. He claims he suffered and continues to suffer debilitating and painful physical injury to his left lower and left upper extremities. Jinkin, who represents himself, is seeking over $113,000 in damages that he claims would cover his medical bills, medical travel, cost of future medical bills, and the loss of monthly income as a result of his injuries. For these stories and much more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
It's 6:32, and tell you what, that's iConnect time. And normally we tell you about them being the practical choice with the great mobile plans and the great internet plans and the push-to-talk plans. But let me tell you about the push-to-talk plans. Yesterday, they went into business, and if you call 888-8888, they should be able to today get you on a push-to-talk plan. There's going to be a lot of people that will need to get some wide coordination going, and you don't have the time to wait for the blue check marks on the WhatsApp. If you need to talk to somebody right now, push to talk is the way to do it, and the only guys that got that is iConnect. 888-8888. Call them, give them a call about 9 o'clock this morning and get that set up for you.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
Yeah, we have the traffic gizmo, and I have the traffic music to play, but there isn't any actual traffic right now. It looks like the majority of people have decided that they're going to stay as safe as possible, wait out in all clear, at least wait until the sun comes up a little bit more and they can see and hear what DPW and GPD needs to be doing in the villages to clear up the roadways. So at 6:34, the right now traffic is, there ain't any traffic right now. You're listening to The Point.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
It's 6:34 in the morning. The morning after. What was that song? There's got to be a morning after. You remember that from the Poseidon Adventure? That's what we've themed today's program as. Still Core 1 right now. We'll see if we can find out when that's going to change. Oya from the governor's office on with Art Perez. The big question is all about power this morning. And where can I find breakfast? But first, what's going on with you guys? Good morning, Oya. Good morning, Art.
Good morning, Ray.
Oh, it's so great to have both of you on the line this morning. I'm just starting to get on Facebook Live a lot of questions from folks, especially up in the northern end of town, asking about power and things like that. And there are also a couple of issues here with at least in fact in the backyard of the radio station, we've got a pig on the pole there, Art, transformer. And it's sparking. It's making a noise, and it's sparking. I told Mike to throw a stick at it, but he's not doing that. If people see something like that, what should they do?
Just report it to our trouble dispatch rate, 475-1472-304. We're pinpointing where all these trouble reports are coming in, either from downlines or transformer problems and so forth like that. I would stick to our PSAs that we issued out prior to the storm. Consider all downlines live and energized. I can report this morning that we have about 40% of 63 distribution feeders that are energized. So there is island power out there. We've begun the process of recovery. We're going through a restoration process rate that involves doing assessment. Crews are already out there this morning. I know that we're still in condition 1, but the winds have died down to a degree where we can still send people out there, eyeball it, and as the more daylight comes out, we can better eyeball where a lot of these trouble spots are going to be.
Okay, you're going real fast. Let me slow you down here, Art. You said you've got 43 of how many feeder lines that are up right now?
Yeah, 40% of 63 distribution feeders that are up and energized right now, right? I can report up as of this morning. I think I had a little bit too much caffeine.
Already. Share, would you? Sorry, 40% of 63 distribution feeders that are up right now. And can you pinpoint, if you will, some of the trouble areas? Again, I'm going to assume that it's north of the Micronesia Mall, where it seemed that the brunt of the winds were felt last night. Is that about right? Is that where you're seeing the majority of the problems?
Well, we have right now a large portion of the south remains without power this morning, and that's what I was going to allude to. Crews will be heading down south to make assessments on transmission lines, so we can energize the lines going south, and hopefully restore some of the major circuits that are heading down to Aga, Santa Rita, Yamatic, Vallejo, Inarajan, up to Zortnia and Talofofo. So that's what the southern crews are focusing on right now.
Okay.
3 sectors will be operating in rain: northern, central, and southern. So those crews are out there this morning. My radio is a buzz of chatter about coordinating recovery efforts, and that's what we'll be doing all that this morning. I would also just a word of caution too, as we go through the recovery process. And the power may go on and off different areas of the villages as we try to restore power. We're troubleshooting as we go along. I would ask people just to keep the main circuit breakers off until things are stabilized. If they want to just see the quality of the power coming into their home or business, maybe just turn on a light or so, 1 or 2 lights to see if it's stable. And then we'll be taking trouble calls from different parts of the island as we progress. But this will be a process. We will keep the media updated, and we'll put out how we're progressing throughout the day through the Joint Information Center. And also on our Facebook, we'll be providing updates of where our crews are at and what areas are being restored with power.
All right. Well, not a whole lot of people have Facebook right now. I know I'm talking to a lot of people on the radio right now. I can see there's a significant difference in the number of people that are tuned in on the Facebook Live as were yesterday when virtually everybody had power. So I'm going to say, I got to agree with you. There's a lot of people that might not have access to any electricity right now, and certainly nothing that is going to be working with any of their phones and things like that might have gone dead in the middle of the night. So radio is going to be the way we're predominantly going to be doing this broadcast. As people get back online and back into the internet, we should be able to talk to them a little bit more and show them some graphics of what went on. Now, we were talking, Mike and I, earlier about kind of unexpected. I got back to the place last night back home at, I don't know, it was 11 o'clock or so, and of course it was dark when I got into the house, and then the lights came on for long enough for me to get up and take my phone and put it into the plug-in charger, and then it went off, and so I had to plug it back into my battery charger, and I thought, well, I guess there are still guys working on it. You had people in the dispatch center that were still trying to remote control the circuits and try to get them back up through the night. Isn't that the case?
That's correct, Ray. If a circuit goes out, we do a process called test closing. It's similar to what you do in your home. If your circuit breaker trips, you try and close it again to see if it'll hold. That will continue once or twice. If it still goes off, then it'll remain off until we can send troubleshooter crews out there to find out what happened. And then if we try and test close again, and if it holds, then we're good to move on to the next circuit or next area. And that's what I mean. If the process of restoration, the power goes on and off, and we try to test close a circuit or there's a line fault someplace, we have to go back out there and troubleshoot it while we're still in the area before we can fully energize a particular street or part of a village.
Yeah.
But also, Ray, I want to emphasize this process. We're going to go through priority circuits. We want to get GMH back on island power. We want to stabilize all circuits going to major water wells and wastewater stations. We want to get critical infrastructure up, government operations, get them back online and energize major loads up north, central, and all the schools that we can get to as quick as we can. So our focus this morning is to restore power, get as many people back on island power as we can, and work our way from there.
All right, couple more questions for you. And so we know about transmission and distribution, 40% right now. That number is going to climb as we're able to see what's happening on the with the actual lines and what needs to get corrected, what needs to get bolted down, what needs to get restrung. What about generation? How do we do with the power plants all night? Everybody hold up?
Well, right now, the word I'm getting back from our people at the plants is that we're operational. If we got 40% of our energized load for out of 63 circuits, that means we have generator power to put out and get more load. And this is where the assessment and T&D side come in. As soon as they clear more areas of the villages for us to energize, we're gonna need more of that load to serve with our generators that are online right now. And then we can make sure that they stay online. So that's our process, Ray.
Yeah. Well, can you give me in percentage how much of generation is up right now?
You know what? I think about. Let me confirm that, Ray. I need to confirm that with our dispatchers first. I don't have that with me in front of me right now.
Okay, but we're not aware of any major problems at any of the major baseload generation, right?
No.
Okay, so I'll assume it's up near about 100%. Any word on any damages at any of the solar farms that we've got?
No, right now we're gonna concentrate on conventional generation at this point to get things back up and running, right.
Okay, I got you. Now, if you could hand everything off to Oya, and we'll see where we are.
Very good. Here she is.
All right.
Good morning, Ray.
Hey, good morning to you, and good morning to everybody over at the JIC Center, and all-nighter for I think just about everybody. Tell me what the situation report is looking like right now. We've heard from power. I have not heard of any water issues from anybody on Facebook Live, so I'm going to assume that most of the generators that are attached to the water wells were able to stay up. Can you confirm that assumption?
Yes, the GWA actually. Right before the storm, they went on generator power.
Yeah, I can answer that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Ray, prior to the storm and onset of damaging winds, waterworks isolated from the grid. They were put on emergency backup generators. That was part of our updates when we reported that emergency backup generators that GPA operates are topped off and fueled and ready to make sure that when they do go on backup power, that they're still operational. And that's one of the assessments we have to do. Make sure that those circuits are to the backup water wells and their generators are online and on power and stable to get them off generators and then pick up that load as well.
Roger that.
I haven't heard of any water outages. And that's important as part of the recovery process, and that's one of the priorities. Water and power work together to make sure happen.
Well, it's a good teamwork that you guys got going there, and I think that that will help to preserve the water going to customers' homes. Number one, and number two, when the wells go down, as everybody knows, all of a sudden that will allow for ingress of air and bacteria. And in storms past, that has been an issue with that kind of problem. And you got to wait a while before tests are all done before we can get the water flowing. And boil water notices. I haven't heard anything about boil water notices yet, and I hope that remains to be seen and remains to be the case. So no major issues with GWA. Looks like transmission and distribution is about what you would expect this morning. There are going to be some dark pockets, and still the majority of the systems are not up yet, but they're going to be going through and making the assessments and then making the corrections, and you're going to get me a number on generation before too much longer, right?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. All right, so Oya's back here. Oya, how is everything else going in the government of Guam? I got somebody asking, is Gov Guam going to be in complete shutdown and skeleton mode for the remainder of the day, regardless of what condition of readiness we're in?
Yeah, typically once we shut down Gov Guam for the day, in the morning, we don't typically have teachers or folks come into government offices at the end of the day.
Yeah.
At this point, we are still doing assessments. The Guam Homeland Security, Guam Power Authority, along with Guam Power Mayor's Council folks, Guam Department, GCW, they've all been for about at least 45 minutes now, taking advantage of the light to make their assessments. There are reports of downed lines, power lines. There are reports of trees and brush on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So, I heard you earlier today, earlier in the show, letting people know that they should stay indoors or at least, not be on the roads. And I really appreciate that because we are still looking at some hazardous conditions on the roads. We also got, a couple of reports of manhole covers that were kind of tipped over, that were tipped out of their regular placement.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, there are some road conditions that we want people to stay away from.
Yeah, there were some surprises for sure on the way home last night from the radio station. Couple of questions for you, and it relates to some kind of associated units that we've got here on Guam. My understanding is that we've got FEMA people here already. Are they working cheek and jowl with you guys over at the JIC and with the government of Guam right now to assist with any of our immediate recovery needs?
Yes, they are. They will actually be assisting with the assessment.
What happened?
They'll be assisting with the assessment.
Oh, they're actually going to be out there assisting with assessments. Okay.
Yes, and they'll also be going out with Red Cross, Mayor's Council, and Salvation Army, along with Homeland, to visit some of the shelters in some of those areas that were particularly hard hit. So I know that we're going to be seeing them up north more than anything, but they'll probably do a kind of a sweep.
We'll talk about shelters in a second. Anybody from FEMA bring a checkbook that they can write to the governor right away to help offset some of the costs that we're going to be incurring immediately?
No.
No, there's no checkbook. This is operational FEMA people, not money FEMA.
Say that again?
They're operations FEMA, not money FEMA.
Yeah, they're operations FEMA, and they're I think there are a couple of money FEMA folks here, but they're going to be helping us with assessments, and they'll be providing support as needed.
All right. Mindy's asking about the state of emergency. The governor did declare a state of emergency, I understand, the other day?
Yes.
Is it, and so that we're still in that state of emergency, right?
We are still in a state of emergency because, again, we still are in Core 1, and, things have yet to be returned to normal. Hopefully we'll start working on that and get that done.
Well, I always refer to it as so-called normal because you just never know what every day is going to bring. I've got a couple of friends that have just finished up their drill in the Air National Guard, and I understand that their supervisor, their bosses went to them and said, okay, who might be available should the Guard need to be called up? And I guess the question that they're waking up to this morning is, should the Guard need to be called up, or is that still something that's going to be coming in the assessment phase?
Yes, sir. They actually have been called upon, and the exact work that they'll be doing will be determined as the assessments are done. Yeah. They'll be assisting, I know, with road clearing, clearing of debris, and traffic management.
All right, road clearing and traffic management. Who's that you're talking to over that? Is that still Art?
So it's Art, yes.
Okay.
You're on.
I guess, back in the olden days, we just pick up the party line phone and just start talking to each other. You're welcome to do that as we continue the conversation. Now about the shelters, we knew as soon as they opened up the northern shelters, they all hit max capacity with a couple of exceptions. How do we do up north? How are we doing with the shelters in central and south? Is everything okay? And what happens when these people return to where their homes were and find that maybe it's laying on its side or they're going to need assistance? Is anybody going to be following them out to where they live to make sure that they are going to be moving back into appropriate living circumstances?
Yes. In fact, we've already seen some of the shelterees leaving the shelters over the course of the storm. We had upwards of 2,100 or 200 folks who were making use of the shelters. But as of this morning, let me just get the 6 a.m. report. Yeah, as of this morning, we're down to about 2,066. So we're seeing folks at from different shelters return home. And if they return home and they still do need assistance, then that's something that we are working with the mayors, Salvation Army, and Red Cross and FEMA on.
All right, so somebody is going to follow them around and make sure everything at the end of the day is going to be all right. Oya, I appreciate your time. If the governor or lieutenant governor would like to pass along a message to our listeners, they're welcome to come by the radio station if they bring food from Linda's. Coffee. Just come on by the radio station and say hello to everybody and let them know how absolutely, because I'm sure that the message is, we're delighted that we did not get the storm that people were calling for on Friday.
Oh gosh, yes, we are. Yes, although we do pray for our brothers and sisters up in Rhoda, who they did get the brunt of the storm, and I think over the course of the storm, while the storm was over Rhoda, it was actually intensifying. So I know they're going through they've got some issues there. We actually don't even have a clear picture yet of exactly what happened there.
Well, the National Weather Service guys are going to go up and start their assessments. As it turns out, it looks like the higher sustained winds on Guam, and the highest recorded gust through all of the Mariana Islands was on Guam, believe it or not, at Andersen Air Force Base.
Oh.
Yeah, right? It's so counterintuitive, it's not even funny. 67 miles an hour sustained with gusts of 87 miles an hour up at Andersen Air Force Base.
But keep in mind, Rhoda lost power long before we did, so there probably were higher winds that just weren't recorded.
Well, that we know of, and as I said, we'll get the Guam Election Commission on this right away so that we can certify the results of this storm and find out who indeed had the bigger numbers out there. Oya, Art, I really appreciate your time. If we need to, and I get other questions that I can't answer off the top of my head here, I will probably make an opportunity to reach out back to you guys and get those answers. And Art, if you could stay up on the transmission and distribution and generation side, as there's still a lot of people that are chiming in on Facebook Live, letting me know that they've got issues in places like Mong Toto Mighty, which was all weird, and different parts of different parts of Manilao and certainly the north end of Guam that are without power right now.
Thank you, Ray.
Okay, buddy. I'll talk to you pretty soon. The other thing that, later on, we'll talk about that. The other thing is there's so many people that are expressing, this is so nice because it's such a Guam thing. There's so many people that are expressing their thanks to all of the guys that were in foul weather gear and have been in foul weather for the last couple of days, taking care of as much tree trimming as they possibly could. That was nice to see. And even in the midst of what could have been fairly dangerous, as the winds were starting to come up yesterday, I caught a bunch of guys that were doing tree trimming up around Nimitz Hill and Channel 10 because they needed to maintain power specifically to that area. So thanks very much, guys. I appreciate it, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are out there that appreciate it as well. 6:53 this morning, and as the light washes over the roadways of Guam, the guy that is going to be primarily responsible to oversee the clearing of the debris and the repair to any of the infrastructure on the roadways is Glenn Leon Guerrero. He joins us now. Good morning, Glenn.
Hey, good morning, Ray.
How doing there, buddy? What kind of night did you have?
Oh, it was okay. It wasn't too bad. Heard some howling, but not too bad.
That the neighbors or the wind?
Yeah, the wind.
All right. Hey, for the roadways that I have been on, for the most part, I haven't seen too much damage to traffic signalization, any of the big arms that swing out over the highways. You might need to replace a couple of signs, and I'm very disappointed that with all the wind that we have, it didn't knock down the god-awful, butt-ugly chain-link fence in front of John F. Kennedy High School.
Oh, I haven't gone up north. I had somebody that did that already at about noon. 12. Sorry, about 1 o'clock this morning. And then I went down. I just came from I just checked the south, so I went all the way down, did Pneumatic, Maritzo, and Iran, and I just come back.
Did you see anything interesting?
Oh yeah, a lot of trees, but and we've got three groups of. No, actually, five groups of people that are crews that are out throughout the island. They're mobilizing as we speak.
So as far as the south is concerned, I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of wind damage down there. Their big problem was flooding again yesterday. I got a picture of a guy that is up to his kneecaps in water and fast moving water on the street because it couldn't go in the gullies on the side. That's turning into a real problem. What's the fix on that going to be?
Well, there's a couple of things we're looking at. We're actually going to apply for a FEMA grant. We're looking at putting up detention ponds further up, detention, kind of like levees.
Yeah.
And we're also we're looking at the property. I don't know if it's for sale or not, but we need to not make it do a 90-degree angle. It needs to go straight into the ocean or straight into across the street. But the problem really is not. It is that's part of the problem because it clogs up. Mm-hmm. And I just passed it. It's clogged. But there's no water at least when I went through.
Yeah, so far we did get a lot of water leading up to this, and there was a whole bunch that fell last night. But my guess is most of that has dissipated now. So it's an opportunity eventually for somebody to go in there and pull the debris out of the gullies on the side and clear off as much as they can and see what happens there. That's one piece. But like I said, as I move north, I think the biggest problem is debris, a bunch of trees that are on the side of the road. Is that DPW going to be clearing that, or is that going to look like it's going to fall to the guys in the guard now? I just got off the phone with Oya, and they said that that's a couple of things that the Guard will be doing post-typhoon recovery is road clearing and traffic management.
Yeah, so what they're going to do is they're going to come out of their compound up on Route 16. They're going to go down to Route 16 they're going to go both ways. They're going to go Route 16 and then from Route 16 to Route 8 and head both down to Marine Corps Drive. One's going to end up at the mall. The other's going to end up at the 1 and 8 intersection, and then from there we'll work with them, let them know where we need them.
So we got us here a convoy, is what you're talking about. That's nice. All right, a lot of uniforms going to be out on the roadways this morning, and in places where major intersections where there's not yet electricity.
Right. Well, actually, when I went down, I started very early, probably about 5:30. And then around 5:45 or something like that, I saw GPA started energizing. They energized Cabras Highway, and I'm talking about signal lights, and so that's on blink mode, and the PD cemetery that light is also energized, so it's on blink mode. I've relayed that information up to the RAC, and they're going to get our signal guys on it so that they'll reset it.
Our light is working in front, right?
Yeah, the light is, but the turning signal, all right, if you're heading northbound on Marine Corps Drive, the turning signal into the iConnect complex, that's been folded up by the rain, the wind.
But for all intents and purposes, everything is working through there, right?
Yeah, no, everything seems to be working, and the signal actually will tell you to turn left to the light that's on the catty corner. Yeah. By the way, also had a call in that there's a low-hanging street light northbound Marine Corps Drive in Anigua, right there near Dead Man's Curve. So caller said stay on the inside lane there.
Yeah. So I mean, the roads are passable, Ray, but again, you're gonna don't travel 35. At the end of the day, you're going to go into oncoming lanes until we clear the roads up.
Yeah, well, I'm listen, for you guys and the work that you've got to do just in the original assessment now and then the movement of recovery vehicles, we're trying to keep as much as possible, letting people know that now is not a time to get to the roadway. But you're going to have to work on your assessments real fast because, as I said, there's people that are going to start going out and foraging. Looky-loo, they're going to want to do that, and they're going to want to go and find coffee, and they're going to go and want to find breakfast. So as soon as you guys can get your assessment done and send guys out to the intersections, that'd be all right. Glenn, appreciate your time. Appreciate the work of the men and women at DPW.
Thanks, Ray.
I'll see you pretty soon. Radio station is KUSG Haggadah. Coming up, Fox News Live, and they're going to be talking about Hurricane Florence in South Carolina. And when it's done, we'll come back and talk about Typhoon Manghut recovery here on Guam and the latest from the Guam Daily Post and Mindy Uggan. That's all ahead right here on The Point.
A fourth state declares an emergency. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, as Hurricane Florence takes aim at the East Coast.
We encourage anyone in the path to heed the warnings of state and local officials who have the expertise and knowledge of their communities to provide the best on-ground information.
White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders says FEMA and Homeland Security are tracking several storms. Florence could make landfall in the Carolinas as soon as Thursday morning as a Category 4 hurricane and cause widespread flooding. Fox's Gernal Scott with more live.
Lisa, Virginia and both Carolinas have been in preparation mode. Maryland is not in the direct path of Florence.
But we are preparing for the potential of historic, catastrophic, and life-threatening flooding in Maryland.
That's Governor Larry Hogan saying that a state of emergency has been declared there and the National Guard is on standby. South Carolina's governor is ordering a coastal evacuation to start tomorrow at noon, but the storm is expected to flood inland areas as well, as remnants are expected to linger after landfall, Lisa.
Yeah, Gernal, some areas could get up to 30 inches of rain, plus the storm surge. Top winds right now, 140 miles per hour. The White House says it's focusing on things that matter, not the unnamed source of a recent editorial.
It's frankly, I think, sad and pathetic that a gutless, anonymous source could receive so much attention from the media.
But spokeswoman Sarah Sanders also reiterating the president's concern about the writer having national security clearances and wanting the Justice Department to investigate. Carbon-free California, that's Governor Brown's goal for the state's power supply, signing a bill he says will help lead the fight against climate change.
No matter what the naysayers may say, it is a real present danger to California and to the people of the world.
The state's utilities being told to phase out all fossil fuel sources by the year 2045. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas starts in September. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pantosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and a Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
One investigator says a Dallas police officer charged in the shooting death of a neighbor claims the neighbor ignored her verbal commands before she opened fire in the neighbor's apartment.
The case against Officer Amber Geiger is set to be reviewed by a grand jury, resulting in possibly more charges beyond manslaughter in the killing Thursday of 24-year-old Botham Jean.
I'm not satisfied that we have all the answers, and the number one answer that I want is what happened.
Reaction from Jean's mother. The city of Dallas says the off-duty officer parked on the wrong level of her parking garage before she says she entered Jean's apartment that she thought was hers. She's free on bond as the investigation continues.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Toxicology tests on the officer were ordered. No word yet on any results. The economy wasn't trending. The head of the White House Council of Economic Advisors, Kevin Hassett, rejecting former President Obama's recent claim that he deserves some credit for the booming economy as part of a trend that started under his administration.
If you look again at the blue part on the left, you can see that there's a clear downward trend going on in the growth rate of that for President Obama, and then a clear inflection timed almost precisely once again at the election.
Hassett using multiple charts on a variety of economic factors, but he says the presentation had been ready for weeks and was not a response to the former president's speech on Friday, kicking off his midterm campaign for candidates in several states. Some other storms being tracked by forecasters even as Hurricane Florence takes aim at the U.S. East Coast. 2 other storms out in the Atlantic. Isaac is expected to lose strength as it reaches the Caribbean, and Helene is still much farther out to sea in the Pacific. Hurricane Olivia triggering warnings for multiple Hawaiian islands. Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
We get it.
Gas and utility rates keep rising with no end in sight. But with Double Play from GTA, you can get an extra sweet deal that'll save you extra cash. Sign up today and get 50 megabits per second with fiber home internet, unlimited talk and text, plus 25 gigabytes of wireless data. And new customers get the first month free with no contract. Save over $500 in the first year and get extra with Double Play from GTA. Conditions apply. Visit gta.net for more details.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
The dreaded flu season is here, but FHP Health Center has got you covered. Protect yourself from the flu by taking advantage of FHP's Flu Clinic, open to all ages from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at FHP Health Center on Saturday, September 15. The clinic is free for Take Care members and those with Medicare Part B primary medical insurance, $20 for individuals with Take Care as secondary medical insurance, and $25 for self-pay non-members. Walk-ins accepted. For more info, call FHP at 646-5825.
Off a day and good morning. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes after 7 a.m. on this Tuesday morning. I'm Mindy Eggen. Here's a look at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The typhoon warning for Guam has been canceled, but Guam remains in condition of readiness 1, and the government of Guam is closed for the day. Island damage assessments are underway this morning, as well as power restoration, as the entire island was without power during the typhoon. Guam Power Authority spokesperson Art Perez said 40% of 63 distribution feeders are up right now. He says large portions of the south are currently without power this morning, and crews are out making assessments on transmission lines and are looking to restore some of the major circuits feeding southern villages. Perez asks residents to be patient, as the priority is currently getting the Guam Memorial Hospital back on island power. The focus is also getting priority circuits for critical infrastructure up and energized, as well as major loads in the north and central. There have been no reports of water outages at this time. Meanwhile, residents are advised to heed warnings and stay indoors and off the road, as there is a lot of debris that needs to be removed. National Weather Service meteorologist Brandon Adlet said the worst is over as Typhoon Mangkhut continues west and is intensifying. He said they are closely watching another system between Costa Rica and the Marshall Islands. They don't expect any development with the system. They'll continue to monitor it for any signs of change. The Weather Service does expect rain showers will continue today that will bring short bursts of small gusty wind. This is expected to continue throughout the day. Swells from Mangkhut will continue as well to generate hazardous surf across the region, and seas and winds will be hazardous for small craft. More news after the break.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
10 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point on this Tuesday morning. A team from the Federal Emergency Management Agency will be joining in assessments today from Typhoon Mangkhut, as island mayors, Public Works, American Red Cross, the Guam Police Department, and other government officials will be touring the island. Governor's Director of Communications, Oya Nirariko, confirms the National Guard has been called upon to assist with traffic management and road clearing as a state of emergency remains in place. More than 2,000 people, meanwhile, remain at more than a dozen shelters this morning at island public schools, awaiting the all clear to return home to assess impacts of manhunt at their residences. MWR, the Child Development Center, the Navy Exchange Commissary, Dodea schools also remain closed today, and the gates to Big Navy and Naval Hospital will also remain closed until officials decide otherwise. And in other news, the Guam Election Commission postponed a scheduled meeting to tabulate absentee and qualified provisional ballots due to Typhoon Manhunt. GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan said the commission expects to reconvene the meeting at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. Once the absentee and qualified provisional ballots are tabulated, the commission is expected to certify the primary election results. Now, Guam Citizens for Public Accountability's Ken Leon Guerrero filed a lawsuit last week in the Superior Court of Guam asking the court to order the commission not to certify the election results. Leon Guerrero has asked the judiciary of Guam to order a hand count of all the ballots and argued that crossover ballots should also be counted. The Election Commission, meanwhile, is still waiting on funding to pay off obligations from the August 25th primary election. Pangilinan said there's about $280,000 in pending payments from the August 25th primary. GEC needs about $117,000 of that just to pay precinct officials. The commission, meanwhile, is still waiting on the release of reserve funding from fiscal year 2016. Pangilinan said the commission needs that money to pay for the primary election expenses and to order the general election ballots that need to be sent out by September 21st. For these stories and much more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray now with some more weather.
Yeah, well, here's the weather for today. It's not going to be typhoon. We're done with it. It's 160 plus miles in that direction. It's going to go and bother somebody else. I think the track takes it out to Luzon now in the Philippines. At least that's what some of the early tracks are beginning to look like. But for us, partly sunny and breezy with isolated showers. Actually kind of nice breezy outside this morning. Might be some thunderstorms coming in. Southeast winds to about 25 miles an hour, gusting possibly to 35 this morning, and then later on decreasing to 10 to 20 miles an hour this afternoon. Highs near 85 degrees, overnight lows of about 77. And if you said to yourself, I'm going to need a drink when this is all done, where do you want to meet at 6:25 for the first sunset of the morning after the night before, or the night after the night before? Start thinking about that. Sunrise tomorrow morning about 6:09, and that's what we're talking about on the weather scene. All of these updates brought to you by Guam Cleaning Masters. Let them do the cleanup work for you. Tree removals, debris removal, and disposal of any kind of type of typhoon-related cleanup. Call Guam Cleaning Masters, 646-2002. That's 646-2002.
Fuso trucks are sold, rented, and serviced exclusively on Guam by Morrico Equipment. Available in van body, reefer body, freezer body, or flatbed designs. Fuso trucks specialize in the smaller delivery and service market. Perfect for business on Guam. Serviced by qualified technicians. Fuso trucks are part of the Daimler Truck and Freightliner truck family. Sales, rental, parts, service, and fully maintained lease finance from MorricoEquipment.com. Call Morrico on Ipoh Road at 649-1946.
Hey, go get to King's. I'm still waiting word on whether they're open or closed right now. Normally, a lot of these restaurants will like their employees to be able to know that their house is secure and their families are safe before everybody comes in, regardless of the condition of readiness. As soon as I find out, we'll pass that along. But I'm sure that they'll be open by lunch. Positive they'll be open by lunch, which means that you can get your hands and your mouth around some bistec chamorro, because that's the big Tuesday deal. Find it later on at King's.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Portions of the program brought to you by a whole bunch of my favorite advertisers. American WaterTech, smarter water, better water. That's what we use to make the great coffee here at the radio station. Guam Regional Medical City for all of your open heart surgery needs. Micronesia Renewable Energy. The never been a better time to go solar. Call them up when the all clear is done and have them take a look at what's left of your roof and see if we can put some solar gear up there. An American President lines there, shipping the future.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagana, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
At 7:15, if you're starting to think about breakfast, I'll let you know. So the tricky part of doing these things is we need to start hearing from, in particular, restaurants. At 7 o'clock in the morning, as I said to Glenley and Guerrero a few minutes ago, you guys need to get your assessments done quick because people are walking around trying to figure out, or running around trying to figure out where to forage for breakfast. In many places on the island, we're not going to be able to use that stove. Man, should have gone gas, right? Anyway, so you're not going to be able to use the stove. Couldn't get your hands on some butane. Want to go to Wendy's and get some fried rice, because they do fried rice really, really well over at Wendy's. Great place to swing by for breakfast. I'll let you know when they're open. So if that, and we'll get that, and we'll get the other, what's the other gizmo? The fried chicken with the white gravy. I'm supposed to be talking about the 4 for $4 thing, but my guess is that more and more people are thinking about breakfast right now. So we'll start getting your mouth watering for all those great tastes at Wendy's.
Honolulu, Seattle, LA, Vegas, Chicago, New York. With your First Hawaiian Bank United Mileage Plus credit card, you can save 10% on United flights to these great cities and anywhere else in the U.S. Book your tickets at the United City Ticket Office, talk to your travel agent, or go to united.com and use promo code FHB18U. Visit FHB.com/United Fair Sale 18 for offer details and restrictions. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. On demand at thepoint.gu.
7:17, and originally we were going to do a pre-recorded version of Jerry Roberts and the Extra Point. And today's actually a lucky day for you, because today is double Jerry Roberts Day. You've got him on the radio, and you've also got him in the Guam Daily Post. The question is, can we check your shoe size? What does that have to do with training and people working in businesses and all of that? I don't know what but that's the. And if you want to find out, grab a copy of the Guam Daily Post and then take a look at that and read it, and then you'll have a better understanding of what's in the mind of Jerry Roberts. But Wally, what are you looking for there?
I'm looking for the script.
You don't memorize these things?
No.
Only 2.5 minutes long. Just give me.
King's Harmon is open.
Just give me the Cliff's version, the Cliff Notes version of it. Wait a second, hold on. That's a major headline here from Mindy over at the Guam Daily Post. So on the open list now, I've got Dusitani and Kings
and Harmon.
In Harmon, just Harmon.
As far as I know right now, yes.
Okay, and then there's Doucet Kings and
Henry.
Linda's. I know Linda's opens because Shelley's eating there right now.
Oh, man.
What's that big thing they've got? It's a bit like a
corned beef fried rice.
Yes.
Can't go wrong.
Once a year, everybody should have one of those. I don't have any updates on what's happening with flights in and out of Guam. Last time I checked there, anybody over at the airport, everything was basically shut down. Basically kind of a ghost town out there. And the last word from United yesterday was that morning arrivals and departures have been canceled for September 11th. Afternoon and evening arrivals and departures may experience delays, and they ask you to check united.com or call 1-800-UNITED-1 to get details on what may or may not be happening with flights in and around this hub zone.
So what would happen then to the flights tomorrow? Will they just first come, first serve for the people who were knocked off today? How does that work?
I don't know. I think it might be...
Because you got the ones on the 12th who already are going to be flying.
Yeah.
Scheduled.
And the ones that need to pack in through there. I couldn't tell you how they do it. It's a weird kind of magic thing. I think everything just backs up. I mean, my only involvement in the travel business was selling tickets when I was a kid, not actually running the airlines. But if we're lucky, we'll get a hold of Sam or somebody and answer questions just like that. Now, the other reason why we wanted Jerry Roberts to come in, even though we had a pre-recorded version, was to see if you were able to see anything interesting on the way into the radio station this morning in your travels. Nothing?
I lost a pickle tree.
Oh.
No, good. I wanted that thing down. I didn't want to have to take it down myself. The thing was huge.
Yeah.
Lost that.
Well, how are you going to make your synagogue now?
No, I just have to work it out. But no, so that was that and plumeria tree. That one we didn't want to lose. So the plumeria tree came down.
Yeah, but a plumeria, you stick the thing, take a branch and you stick it in the ground, and 10 minutes later you got another tree.
Maybe 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
So part of it came off. Of course, all the flowers came off, all the branches came off, and but that will survive and come back again. Other than that,
did you have electricity all night?
No, we did not.
No.
We lost it twice, and then the second time it's been gone since about 6. So it's been about 13 hours.
We I haven't heard anybody with, I mean, knock on wood, haven't heard anybody with any major water problems. I mean,
water stayed on.
Coming through, I mean, you want to talk about turning a corner, because by now somebody would have already started talking about boil water notices.
All night long, it was on.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Guam Water Works Authority people. And GPA.
Could get a couple of CCU guys reelected, huh?
It could be, yeah. Maybe somebody we know, huh?
Maybe it'll work out for him. I don't know. Maybe we'll call him.
But the power guys, I think, doing a good job. They're out there early. They've been out there all night. So I think we're going to get.
I've been bragging about the guys that I passed by yesterday. I was up on Channel 10. There was a problem with the power at the transmitter site, and I came down and up along that stretch of Nimitz on the way into Petey. I happened upon this tree trimming crew, and I asked the super. I said, "Hey, when's power going back on Channel 10?" And the guy looks at the tree, says, "As soon as these guys are done, we'll have power restored back all the way up the road to Channel 10." And I said, "All right," but I was so glad that they were out there continuing to do it and apparently working until about dark last night, until they couldn't see and work safely. But there was still remote control work being done over at the dispatch to try to test the lines to see if turn it on and let's see if it stays up. And in a lot of cases, like I know at Mike's house, they were able to turn it on and keep it going right up until you had your morning movement.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
too much information.
But you know, it actually
was he doing a symphony this morning?
It worked out perfectly for me though, because the power was on for a little while last night, and that was just in time for me to do one of those updates. And so then it went out again, stayed out all night. Then in the middle of the night, popped back on. It was enough to warm my water for the shower this morning.
Perfect. No, that's all you need. That is all you need. There's something a little bit colder, a little bit warmer than room temperature, and you start to feel like a human being.
Bro, I got a hot shower this morning.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm going to work on a hot shower and a shave eventually. At 7:23, normally we take a look at what the markets are doing. The markets are down this morning.
Looks good kill.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be worried about that too much. If I need some small talk, I'll check on the financials a little bit later on. But right now, it's not a big deal. The big deal is to keep the program moving, and to do that, here's Jerry Roberts with the live version of today's Extra Point.
And before we do that, the Let's Check Your Shoe Size in the post today is a training element. If you would like to use that for your folks, that would.
Is that exercise too?
Not exercise.
Okay, so
here,
we're not actually asking.
Kind of, sort of.
We're not actually asking employees to take their shoes off.
No, we're not.
Okay.
That we are not doing. Would you rather have a good idea for a business or recognize a pressing need or problem without a current solution? I'm Jerry Roberts, and let's get on today to the Extra Point. Her name is Payal Kadakia, and you've probably never heard of her. But 5 years ago, she founded a company that has somewhat revolutionized the fitness industry, and we can learn something from her. Kadakia is 35. She's the co-founder of a thing called ClassPass, a subscription-based service that lets users find and book fitness classes online. So why is this a big deal? Well, in the big city, trying to schedule yourself into a fitness class, even sometimes locally, can be time-consuming and unsuccessful. If you have to call around to places to get information and check on availability, some people end up spending as much time making the reservation as they do in the class. So, for a modest monthly fee, her company gives users access to 10,000 fitness facilities in 50 cities around the U.S. and Canada, not yet Guam, plus 12 cities and soon to be 20 internationally. That's by the end of the year. If someone is new to a city or traveling, they can use the ClassPass app to schedule whatever the exercise they want, and it works out for them. So it's good for the user and good for the fitness companies, as they have another revenue source. ClassPass currently has 250,000 users, so she's making a buck. The company has booked over 50 million reservations for fitness classes since launching 5 years ago. So she solved problems for both the person who wants to exercise and the fitness owners who want to fill classes. Both benefit from ClassPass. Now, there are thousands of people in Guam who have a full-time or part-time business. Some have big dreams, while others just want to earn some side money to help make ends meet and maybe develop future options. Some are young and just starting out. Some are senior citizens, retired and starting again. All would do well to heed some of the best business advice I've ever heard and has come off the lips of people like Bill Gibson and even Ray Gibson and a lot of other folks who understand. Something my mom also said to me when I was 18 and hungry to get going. I heard a number of variations, but the best came from the late Robert Schuller, a pastor, author, and motivational speaker. The secret of success is to find a need and fill it, to find a hurt and heal it, to find somebody with a problem and offer to solve it. Now, Mom was the first person who ever told me that being a problem solver was a really good thing to be and would separate me from most others. It was true then, and it's true today. Whether you have your own business or work for someone else, Payal Kadaki recognized a glaring need in the fitness industry and filled it, solving problems for buyers and sellers alike. What needs or problems have you seen that you can do something about? Is your success story just around the corner? Is there anything happening in Guam today that might earn you $1 today? That's the extra point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 and the Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
I have some butane containers and I got that I bought from as many places as I could find the other day, and some 4x8 sheets of plywood that I want to unload.
There you go.
Because I didn't actually buy those. I just took them off a couple of buildings on the way to work this morning. But I figured somebody's going to need some. Well, you were talking about just the entrepreneurial spirit. See a need, fill it. And remember, courage is always rewarded.
Always rewarded. And as I was going through the villages today to hit the road, there's some opportunity out there today.
I was knocking myself in the butt the other day because I was thinking about something I probably should have bought while I was out preparing for the storm, and it's a chainsaw. Mm-hmm. A chainsaw in some parts of the village is going to come in real handy today, and you might want to just do it just because there's a nice old lady that lives there and she lost her pickle tree or the plumeria, and maybe you can slice it into small pieces so it's easy for the guys to haul away. Or maybe you can just walk up and down the street and say, "Listen, for $20, I'll go ahead and trim everything out so it's less work for you and the insurance guys."
That's right.
And you go from one place to the next place to the next place. There's a way to make a couple of dollars here today.
And school is out today. So if you got your place kind of squared away and you're a young person with entrepreneurial instincts, as Mr. Gibson says, you can go door to door and say, "Is there anything that I can do for you today?" And most people are going to be happy to pay you anyway.
You know what I've got that I could actually rent out for a little bit, and there's enough sunlight for it because I'm an amateur radio guy, and it's important that we always have fresh batteries and that we can use our equipment when there's no electricity around us. I've got an actual solar panel that has got a USB adapter on it.
Oh, you've done that?
Oh yeah, I've done that. Yeah, so you can hang this thing outside by the window and run your charger right up to it, and the sun will recharge in an astonishingly short amount of time. The sun will recharge your phone.
Where did you get that?
Online. Get them on eBay. Yeah, easy to get your hands on, and a huge problem solver. You'd be surprised. 7:29 in the morning. We might actually have to get around to doing some traffic here in just a second. Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point. I appreciate you coming in and giving us some information on what your Typhoon Mangkhut night and losses are. So -1 pickle tree and bits and pieces of a plumeria.
That's it.
Glad to make it to the other side, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
7:30 in the morning. That's Jerry Roberts in this morning's Extra Point. And if you want to know about the shoe size deal, open up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Headlines from the Post and Mindy Uggan. Coming up, we'll take a look at traffic as well. Looks like there's some work for people trying to get up to the front gate of Anderson Air Force Base. More on that in a couple of minutes.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Yeah, like I said, taking a look at the traffic gizmo, we're moving our way up into Jigo. Not quite by the, you know what, where this is? I got a feeling this over by FBLG, that area there, that is experiencing some kind of congestion. I was originally thinking it was up a little bit further to the north, but no. Yeah, you are going to see. There's a McDonald's up there, isn't there? I think maybe that's why traffic might be tied up. But that's at northbound Marine Corps Drive. Everywhere else, it is virtually spotless on the traffic gizmo. A little bit of traffic moving through the Ordot area into Sinahanya and around, making your way kind of up the bend towards the funeral home, and then. What is this? Not Channel 7, Route 7, coming in from Snaky Road, making your way towards Adelup. Might experience some delays. I'm sorry, that's going up Snaky Road, making your way from Adelup. And I'm looking at the traffic gizmo down to Sumai, and it looks clear through there. Just watch out for the roadways. We got a lot of guys from the the DPW, Guam Police Department, and eventually the Guam Guard that are going to be going out there and doing some road clearing and traffic. So make room for them and the other emergency vehicles. There are going to be some places, even on big roads, where everybody's going to find themselves converging to the middle because of the debris on the side. So just be aware of that as you're traveling around this morning. 7:31, that's right now traffic on the point.
Honolulu, Seattle, LA, Vegas, Chicago, New York. With your first Hawaiian Bank United Mileage Plus credit card, you can save 10% on United flights to these great cities and anywhere else in the U.S. Book your tickets at the United City Ticket Office, talk to your travel agent, or go to united.com and use promo code FHB18U. Visit FHB.com/United Fair Sale 18 for offer details and restrictions. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC.
That's nice. Uncle Robert's watching on the Facebook Live this morning. It's always nice to have family come and observe you while you're working. Cousin Joseph Peta there, Art Hameister, Elaine McGee watching from the U.S. mainland. There's Daryl Slider checking in, Doyan Murado, Derek Munya Kanata, Leah Beth Nahalawa, GW Frangu Matautau, who's saying, hope your inventory withstood the typhoon there, Derek Munya Kanata. And otherwise, there's always a great opportunity on days like today to start looking around for the signs that say scratch and dent sale, right? As long as you let people know that maybe it got a little bit of hair mess from the typhoon, then people will be more than happy to see if there's a huge discount on that kind of thing. It is 7:33 and time to jump into headlines again from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Mindy Uggan.
33 minutes after 7 a.m. Here are some of the headlines from the Guam Daily Post. The typhoon warning for Guam has been canceled. Guam remains in condition of readiness 1, and the government of Guam is closed for the day. Island damage assessments are underway this morning, as well as power restoration. The entire island was without power during Typhoon Mangkhut. Guam Power Authority spokesperson Art Perez said 40% of 63 distribution feeders are currently up and running right now. He said large portions of the south are without power, and crews are out making assessments on transmission lines and are looking to restore some of the major circuits that feed the southern villages. Perez is asking residents to be patient as the priority is getting the Guam Memorial Hospital back on island power. The focus is also getting priority circuits for critical infrastructure up and energized, as well as major loads in the north and central parts of Guam. There have been no reports of water outages at this time. Meanwhile, residents are urged to remain indoors until condition of readiness 4 is announced and stay off of the road. Public Works crews are also out on the streets trying to clear debris that has made some roads impassable. The Guam Daily Post crew found backhoes clearing fallen debris on Route 4 in Chalanpago this morning, and members of the Guam National Guard have been activated to assist with traffic management and debris removal throughout the day, so make sure you look out for them on the roads today. National Weather Service meteorologist Brandon Adlet said Typhoon Mangkhut continues west. It is intensifying and could turn into a super typhoon later today as it heads towards the Philippines and Taiwan. He did say that they are closely watching another system that's developing between Kosrae and the Marshall Islands. He says they don't expect any development with the system, but they will continue to monitor any signs of change. The Guam Regional Medical City has lifted its lockdown status. Normal visiting hours will resume today when Core 4 is declared by the governor. Outpatient elective surgeries and all other GRMC services will resume their normal schedule tomorrow, Wednesday. Upon declaration of Core 4, they are urging all GRMC employees who are scheduled to report to work. We've also received a note that Personal Finance Center will be closed today as well. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
I've got a longer list of openings now. I'll share that with you in a second. So PFC is closed for the day. So is First Hawaiian Bank. I got that word from the folks over at the First Hawaiian Bank. So the answer is, where it all starts with, yes, we're closed today. If that's the way you want to look at it. It's 7:35, and that's iConnect time. They are the practical choice. Great rates on things like mobile plans and internet plans, and even push-to-talk. This might be a good day to start investigating the idea of push-to-talk. It doesn't rely on the internet. It doesn't rely on any electricity other than what you need in the battery, and it means that you can get a hold of your team, the entire team, or individual members of the team right now. That's the beauty of push-to-talk.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
I got you. 7:36 in the morning, and portions of the program brought to you by my friends over at Subway. You know how I know they're my friends? Because they're one of my favorite sandwiches. I'm a BMT guy almost every time because I know exactly how I want it. I know exactly the way I want the lady to make it. But when it comes down, when they bring this out, and they don't do it all the time, the hot pastrami, then I become Mr. Hot Pastrami. In fact, they call me that. I walk into the place, I go, oh, here comes Mr. Hot Pastrami again, because they know that's what I'm going to get when they've got it, and they've got it now. Fantastic cuts of lean meat, and then it goes on whatever bread you want with the condiments you like. You know how it works. Find it at Subway.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
All right, whatever that mess up was in Gigo, that's beginning to clear up. Still a lot of cars in that particular area, but it doesn't look like anything is slowing down, and that will do it for traffic this morning. That's all we're looking at right now. It seems like everybody is still in recovery mode, recognizing that we are still in condition of readiness, number one. Still a little bit windy out there, some blustery, and some of the debris that's still on the roadways can get blown into your car. So if you don't need to go out and forage for food or take somebody to a clinic or something like that, then the recommendation is to stay home. If you've got electricity, wonderful. Chances are it will stay on for the most part, but otherwise expect the power to return to you if you don't have it. We got GPA guys out there. They're assessing the situation, and as quickly as they can, we'll be restoring all of the circuits. At 7:38 in the morning, that's right now traffic here on The Point.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Typhoon morning here on The Point. My name is Ray Gibson. Great to be with you and great to share my typhoon experiences last night, yesterday, today, all of that, and try to get you caught up and up to speed on what's happening Guam-wise. 988-5874. If you've got some interesting pictures that you'd like to share with the Facebook Live audience, and somebody said, you know, we ought to take all these pictures and put together some kind of, I don't know, celebrity star reel or something like that. Some incredible video that was shot, some incredible pictures, and I want to say among the more incredible videos that we had seen is a house, Booney house up in Rhoda losing its roof, and another one was out in Harmon with some transformers that blew up in a very, very spectacular way. Unbelievable stuff. I did promise that I'd let you know about things that are open that I'm aware of right now. Doucet goes first because they found me first this morning. We're told that King's in Harmon is open. Linda's is open. Burger King in Tumon will open in 5 minutes. Again, BK in Tumon will open in 5 minutes. Yum, breakfast. The one in Anigua and Hagutnia, Airport and Hagutnia will open at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they'll open the one at the mall when the mall starts opening their doors. And I'll see if I can find out from one of the Shroggies what time that's anticipated to happen. At some point, they've got to move their maintenance people through and start unlocking doors. Wendy's in Upper Tumon, I am told, is open, so if you need to fix for the Wendy's fried rice, then that's where you need to head. And GRMC, again, the story from Mindy a second ago, GRMC visiting hours will be restored after condition of readiness 4 has been declared through the territory. First Hawaiian Bank closed today, PFC closed today. Jackie Marati, anybody from the Bank of Guam want to call in? 888-8255, that's 888-8255. 741, and as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, any other time in the history of Guam broadcasting, in the aftermath of a typhoon, we would begin starting to talk about boil water notices. At 7:41, after a little bit of a typhoon, looking at the northern end of Guam, I'm happy to report I don't have to make that report. Heidi Mallendorf from GWA on the line right now. Good morning, Heidi.
Good morning. So someone's roof blew off?
Up in Rhoda, I'll send you. I might be able to find the scare up the video while you're talking about it. And I'm not sure if it was a Booney house or whether it was like a little business. Looked like it might be like a little crab shack or something like that. And you can see the wind begin to lift up the roof, and then it just peels off of the house.
Yep, and it takes everything away. Took all my dolls and everything away.
Oh, is that what happened when you were a little girl?
Yeah, in Saipan, when we were living in Saipan.
Oh, my God, that explains everything.
Very funny.
What? Hey, look, we all have had those crisis moments. Phil Shroggy reporting the mall has power, water, air conditioning, and delicious food, and will open at 10. Some stores could be a little bit late opening due to manpower, however, but they are going to be opening at the mall at 10 o'clock. Julian, my therapy doctor, says sore physical therapy is closed this morning because we are still in Core 1. Doc, as soon as you guys get out of Core 1 into Core 4, let me know, and I'll let your patients know that they can go and get she does this thing with the massage, and you think that's the most painful thing in the whole wide world, and you never ever want to go back. And then she comes in with the ice treatment, the cold treatment, and then you it's like giving birth in your feet.
I haven't heard about this.
Oh, it's awesome. They do such a great job.
Yeah, I found a good one that's really great working on my calf issues, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Well, I wanted to throw kudos at GWA and your partners at GPA, because near as I can tell, everything stayed on.
Well, I mean, I know I don't have power at my house, but as far as water goes, yes, we have managed, knock on wood. You know, we had a plan in place. I think you and I talked about it, and we've been executing on the plan since Friday. And thanks to GPA, of course, they put us the majority of our wells that could be put on generator power was, I believe, yesterday morning. So that's been, very good. And I know a lot of people are sending me texts saying, thank goodness we have water. So I knock on wood, we do need people still to conserve, because I'm sure you've got the notices that we did have to shut Ugam down, I believe.
Oh, no, I didn't get that notice. Was there additional turbidity?
Yeah, late. It might have been late last night. I'm sorry, I get so many updates. I don't have the exact time, but I'd have to go back and look. But we did do the turbidity. But the plant, although the plant is not treating water, we have enough storage in the area that we're still able to maintain water service to the southern villages that do use Ugam water. So, and we've gotten better over the years in sending more water from the north to the south.
Yes.
So those are all the things, we did things like make sure leaks are fixed before the storm, and all those precautionary things. Ops have been pretty much working, 12-hour shifts since, I think, probably Friday evening. And we're actually going in for a briefing in a short time here. But so far, I mean, I don't want to, I need to be cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. And for no other reason, I wanted to take an opportunity to say that there has been a lot of work going on behind the scenes and in between typhoons and times of inclement weather, and we're seeing the fruits of that work. The relationship with GPA to be able to isolate these pump stations from the grid and then put them on generator and keep them going all the time is incredible. It used to be Ugam would go down if we got 2 inches of rain somewhere on Guam, but now the flocculators were okay until very late, and even when the flocculators finally gave up at Ugam, you've got the storage. So I don't think there's anybody that noticed that there was any problem with Ugam overnight.
Right. We've had a lot of rain this year, as you know, and the community, luckily, there has been times when we've had to shut the plant down, but because we've been really proactive in managing the plant and as I said, topping off the reservoirs, the community has not felt the effect of not treating water. So it has happened from time to time this year and even last year where, we've had to shut the plant down for turbidity, but we haven't lost water service. So that's the good news. And, again, I mean, I know everyone's, been kind of cooped up all weekend. This was a long run up to the storm. And so I think people are anxious to get out and start cleaning up. But if you could use your water really sparingly, especially, in the southern villages, if you didn't save water, we did ask people to put some aside for, if you needed it. So now you have some extra water to do cleaning.
Well, yeah, I've got a bathtub full of water that I got to figure out what I'm going to do with.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna show up on the bill. I get to pay for that twice now. I get to when it comes in the house and when it goes out the septic, when it goes out into the sewer, I get to pay for it again.
Sorry, Ray. You should have called me first. But
give me a break. Well, let me meander into something that's somewhat controversial here. You guys are in the midst of a conversation about back billing some consumers for radio read meters that didn't work. And as far as I'm concerned, if it didn't work, that's your problem, not mine.
Okay, well, you take that up with the general manager and the CFO. That's a higher pay grade than me.
Go find my cousin. Is that something that maybe the guys over at the CCU might be able to look at and give consumers a break?
I mean, I believe they are. I don't know what the final outcome of that is. Of course, there's a working session next week. The public is always invited to our work sessions and our board meetings. They're at 4:30 in the afternoon. So I would invite people to the work session. And or if you know the commissioners, certainly you can talk to them. I don't think there's any shortage of people in Guam talking to their, who they know is on the commission. So there's just 5 of them, right? So, but yeah, I think today's probably not the day to talk to Miguel about back billing, if you don't mind.
It's probably going to be otherwise occupied. You got to check on all the wells and that kind of thing. All right. Well, listen.
I did also just want to say our Maui well also has been secured. That's our largest well. That's the one by St. John's that the military gave us back. We've been maintaining that. And that's been a great well producing. It's our largest water producing.
Well, you've got a new one. You got a big new tank that's going to be going up by Nissan. I've been watching the construction on that.
I'm surprised you didn't call me saying, "Wow, Heidi, Nissan's down." I was waiting
because I didn't notice. I went to go and they've got this new Kicks car at Nissan, and they asked me to come by for a test drive and stuff. So I went by there, and it occurred to me, I'm walking by, and I should have noticed that there is this massive 1 million gallon tank that had disappeared.
Right, and I thought it would be the talk of the town. I kept telling everyone, "Okay, brace for it, wait for it," and no one called. So.
It's just all, it's like all of you wake up one morning and the Hollywood sign is gone. You'd think I would have noticed that, but it didn't happen that way. Unbelievable.
It's been down about 3 weeks, I want to say. That tank was not operational. We didn't have water. We weren't using that tank. So when we get a new tank up there, that will be another source of extra water that we'll have in this area, and for all the things that people want to do in development and just continue good water service. So that's a real plus for the community.
I'd like to see that reliability with some of the other utility work around here. 7:49, Heidi, I appreciate your time, and I'm glad that you made it through the storm all right.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Talk to you pretty soon. You called Julian Duenas over at SOAR and talked to her about your therapy. A couple of things that I've been working on this morning, taking care of clients of the radio station who we'd like to serve. First is the guys over at KFC want to open for breakfast. breakfast. Just got some service back, and the plan is to try to get the KFCs open by 10 o'clock this morning. Frank is making the rounds now, so we'll put that down like it's gospel that they will be able to get that turned around by 10 o'clock this morning. And as I said, the word from Phil Schrage is that the mall is going to be open at 10 o'clock this morning. Your favorite mall, store, or restaurant may or may not be open, depending on what happens with the personnel. Just because the people who work at the mall don't all work for the mall. And so it'll take some time for people to get a little bit more aware of their surroundings, figure out what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done, and make sure their family is safe and okay before they leave for work. Got a note from Peter Lombard, says Lombard Health is closed this morning. We will reschedule patients when we are able to get into the office. We hope to open in the afternoon, and will announce around noon on their Facebook page. So for those of you that were waiting on trying to go and get to see the doctors this morning, probably not going to happen. They'll try to get open later on. And a question from Elena Garcia, and I hope that one of the Akimotos is near to a radio or a phone or a Facebook. Elena wants to know, is American Medical open this morning? And I'll see what we can find out. And speaking of other people, there's might be a Maria out there that can tell me about what's happening with Take Care and their operation. Any of the other clinics, folks. If you need to get word out that your business is open and employees need to come to work and customers can start coming around at 10 or noon or whatever, you can call it in at 888-8255, and you can also send it to me on the WhatsApp, 988-5874. That's 988-5874. Normally, this would count as some kind of advertising, but in my mind, this becomes a public service announcement. There are people that are looking for food. There are people that are looking for groceries, people that had medical appointments that need to know what to do with them, and any number of things that we need to get everybody's family back to normal. So don't be shy about calling me. I'm not going to sick my account executives on you or anything like that. I just want to make sure that if there's information that I can pass along to our listeners for you, that we've got a vehicle for you to be able to do something like that. 7:52 in the morning, and who won the elections on the primary? For heaven's sakes, 3 weeks ago. And we were hoping to find out all of that and get the certification yesterday at a meeting of the Guam Election Commission. But there was a typhoon here, and you cannot have the meeting when there's a condition 1. Maria Pangalinen's on the line. Good morning, Maria.
Half a day, Ray Gibson.
Half a day. How did you and the family make it through?
Very good, thank you.
I'm glad. Do you have power now?
No, not yet. Not out here in Zotnia.
Okay. The guys over at GPA are aware, and they're conducting assessments right now. And I'm sure that before too much longer, they'll find a way to get the lights on. But by then, you'll already be in the office, right?
That's correct.
See, I knew it. This lady's going to work today, even though it's still Core 1.
I'm getting ready to start going in soon.
Okay.
We have a meeting rescheduled for tomorrow at 5:30. So at tomorrow's meeting, we will start to count the absentees and the provisionals. We will, I will get guidance from the legal counsel because we were supposed to check the mail yesterday.
But there's no mail to check yesterday. The post offices were closed and there were no deliveries.
That's correct. So we'll call the postmaster and see when she's open, and we'll go and see if we should collect more mail today. As far as the campaign finance reports, they were due on Monday too, but I'm sure the commission will discuss it on Wednesday evening, and they will decide what to do with the deadline. We will, as soon as it's condition of readiness 4, we will open our office, and if anyone's interested, but don't, they're not obligated to turn it in today.
Yeah, because it is Core 1, but somebody will be in the building.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, as far as depending on, because your meeting is belated, is there a concern that you have that because the meeting for the certification is happening on Wednesday, that any mail that came in the last 48 hours since that deadline would not be counted? Is that a concern that you have?
Well, the law says 10 days, or we've calculated to 10 working days, and that would have been September 10th. So we'll collect the mail and put them aside, and note that those we picked up only after the 10th, and we'll see what legal counsel and the commission says.
Okay, but for all intents and purposes, the only that I'm aware of, the only other restriction is that they have to have been postmarked by the date of the election.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ray, please, let's clarify it. Even we won't be there when it's still condition of readiness for officially. So, I'm sorry, condition of readiness. One. Yes. So I will be there, but I won't invite anybody there until after Core 4 is declared.
Understood. But the meeting, again, tomorrow night, 5:30, the commission members will get together, review all of the numbers, resolve any outstanding legal issues, and then move towards certification of all of the races that were before the voters on the primary election.
That's correct.
Okay, and then we move forward into the general elections, 50 some odd days between here and there, and just a handful of things that the groups need to be able to do in order to make sure that they are in line with the rules and regulations. So any financial reports that you've got to get in there, it's a nice day. You might want to get some of that in, and then tomorrow when we're Core 4 and the offices are officially open, you can get that paperwork to Maria and her team.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, there was a story that was floating around in the news over the weekend about these provisional ballots that weren't going to get counted, most of them because whoever it was that cast the vote never came in to vet themselves.
That's correct. Those were some of them. Others, they were just simply not registered.
Oh, thanks for voting, but you don't count. You didn't do the preliminary work.
We're going to write to them and let them know to hurry up and register for the general.
Yeah. Come on back, and sorry, your vote won't count because you weren't registered, but we'd like to make it count for the next time.
That's correct.
Brilliant. Well, interesting last couple of days, my dear, and I think it's going to be interesting after it's all said and done tomorrow. We're all done with conversations about recounts. We're all done with conversations about the Elections Commission's interpretations of what the laws are on why ballots get spoiled. There seems to be some conversation among a couple of community groups that disagree with that, but I guess that's all in the courts, and we'll see what the judges decide the next few days.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. I know you're going to work today, and I'm glad that you and the family made it through. Everything is safe, and I'll tell Art Perez to have the trucks go to your house and put electricity there first.
That's okay. I can get to the office before then.
All right, I'll see you pretty soon. Never mind the governor's house. Never mind the hospital. Put it at Maria's place and get her back online. A couple of minutes away from 7 o'clock in the morning, and as I said, we're trying to make it through. The lady was asking about whether or not there was anything happening over at American Medical Clinic, and somebody called in at 888-8255 and told Mike to tell me that they are closed this morning. I don't know if that means that they're closed all day. I got a feeling that what's going to happen is fairly quickly after they've had a chance to get together at the JIC with the guys from the National Weather Service who have already lifted the typhoon watch and warning for Guam. My guess is that they're going to get together and try to get us into Core 4 as quickly as possible.
We probably should be in Core 4 by 8.
Well,
I mean, it's very nice.
Weather-wise, it is. But I mean, there's the bureaucratic stuff. There's still the assessments that need to be made. GPA is going to be worried about any downlines that might exist in the villages. So there's part of that. Then you got to worry about people hitting the roadways before DPW and the Guard have had a chance to get everything cleared up. So it might be a little bit. I'm with you. Once it starts looking nice outside, once it starts looking like golf weather, then that's Core 4.
I think noon would be a good safe estimate.
I think so. 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll find out together in just a little bit. The Ray Gibson Show continues. Mindy Huggins coming back in a couple of minutes. We've got Fox News Live. That's all ahead right here on The Point.
bracing for the worst. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Category 4 Hurricane Florence is still hundreds of miles away, but forecasters warning people who live in the southeast to be prepared. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Lisa, as of now, 4 states have declared states of emergency ahead of Florence: Maryland, Virginia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, where the storm is most likely to make landfall. Residents are being told to prepare to leave, but Governor Roy Cooper says as more is discovered about the storm's track,
we will be encouraging a number of our local counties to issue mandatory evacuation orders.
High winds are expected, but the biggest concerns, storm surge and flooding that will likely result from sustained rains from a slow-moving system, Lisa.
Gernal, the White House continues to rail against last week's anonymous New York Times editorial. Spokeswoman Sarah Sanders again calling the author gutless and saying,
I think that the American people would be much better served if we actually spent some time talking about some of the really important things that are facing our country and the things that this administration is doing to help fix them.
But she echoed concerns of President Trump about the person having national security clearance and wanting the Justice Department to investigate. California Governor Jerry Brown signing a bill that sets a goal to phase out fossil fuels from the state's electric grid by 2045.
This bill and the executive order that I'm going to sign will put California on a path to the goals to meet the Paris Agreement and beyond.
But not everyone's satisfied with the plan. Some environmentalists are pushing Brown to end new drilling permits for oil and gas and are pledging to disrupt an international climate summit Brown is hosting in San Francisco later this week. Wall Street at the close. The Dow off 59, the Nasdaq adds 21, the S&P rose 5 points. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
We get it. Gas and utility rates keep rising with no end in sight. But with Double Play from GTA, you can get an extra sweet deal that'll save you extra cash. Sign up today and get 50 megabits per second with fiber home internet, unlimited talk and text, plus 25 gigabytes of wireless data. And new customers get the first month free with no contract. Save over $500 in the first year and get extra with Double Play from GTA. Conditions apply. Visit gta.net for more details.
Palestinian leaders accusing the Trump administration of undermining the Mideast peace process after action taken today by the administration.
The State Department is forcing Palestinian authorities to close their Washington office. Officials say they only let the Palestine Liberation Organization's office stay open if the PLO would work with the U.S. to reach a peace deal with the Israelis. Instead, the Trump administration claims it refuses to engage with the U.S. to reach a peace agreement. Palestinian diplomats say the office closure is a new slap by the Trump administration against peace and justice. The Trump administration is expected to soon release its Middle East peace plan, an effort led by the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. At the State Department, Rich Edson, Fox News.
The amount teens are using social media has skyrocketed over the past 6 years. That's the finding of a new survey.
The survey sheds new light on what teens in the U.S. think of tech and social media. Nonprofit group Common Sense Media polled over 1,100 Americans ages 13 to 17, while 72% believe tech companies are manipulating users to spend more time on their devices, and 35% say they've encountered bullying online. Teens are more likely to say social media has a positive effect on how they feel. 25% say they feel less lonely interacting online. 35% say texting is their favorite way to chat. When it comes to distracted driving, 1 in 5 teen drivers say they check notifications while behind the wheel. 44% say they never do. I'm Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
A new study says actors and characters of Middle Eastern and North African descent are either ignored by TV or stereotyped. The study, funded in part by several California universities, found that the few actors who get work are largely confined to playing tyrants and terrorists. The study found 1% of regularly seen TV series actors have roots in countries including Egypt, Turkey, and Israel. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Fuso trucks are sold, rented, and serviced exclusively on Guam by Morico Equipment. Available in van body, reefer body, freezer body, or flatbed designs. Fuso trucks specialize in the smaller delivery and service market. Perfect for business on Guam. Serviced by qualified technicians. Fuso trucks are part of the Daimler Truck and Freightliner truck family. Sales, rental, parts, service, and fully maintained lease finance from MoricoEquipment.com. Call Morico on Ipao Road at 649-1946.
Hafa and good morning. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes after 8 a.m. on this Tuesday morning. I'm Mindy Egan. Here's a look at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Typhoon Mengad has passed and the island is now in recovery mode, with assessments being conducted by Federal Emergency Management Agency officials who are here on island, accompanying Public Works, Guam Police, Guam Power Authority, American Red Cross, and other officials who are touring the island at this time, making assessments of all the roads and villages. Guam remains in condition of readiness 1, even though a typhoon warning has been lifted. That's to allow emergency officials to get out on the road. Public Works crews were seen in Chalanpago and in various villages already this morning, clearing debris that has made portions of roads impassable. Residents in the north may be hearing a helicopter. We're awaiting confirmation that the Navy's Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 25 is out assessing damage from Typhoon Mengad in Derido and Jigo. We've received multiple reports of residents seeing the HSC 25 crews out in that area. Meanwhile, more than 2,000 people remain in public school shelters awaiting official word of Corps 4 so that they can return home. More than 2,200 people stayed at shelters to wait out the storm. Guam Department of Education spokesperson Isa Baza said shelterees have been asked to stay at the shelters until the all clear is given, but some have left because they're anxious to return to their homes and assess any damage. We've also asked the Joint Information Center when condition of readiness 4 will be called. We're told assessments are still being conducted and a determination will be made after. Meanwhile, residents can expect gusty winds to continue and could reach up to 35 miles per hour at times, especially this morning. A small craft advisory is in effect until 6 a.m. Wednesday, and combined seas of 10 to 12 feet are expected today. A high surf advisory is also in effect for Guam, along with a high risk of rip currents. Residents and tourists should stay out of the water. We'll have more news after the break.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal Credit Opportunity Lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
10 minutes after 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning, the government of Guam remains closed today. Naval Base and Anderson Air Force Base also remain closed. Access going in and out of the bases is currently restricted as the island remains in condition of readiness 1. As you may have heard earlier, the Micronesia Mall will be open at 10 o'clock today. Personal Finance Center and First Hawaiian Bank remain closed. Guam Regional Medical City, meanwhile, has lifted its lockdown status. Normal visiting hours will resume today when Core 4 is declared by the governor. Again, we don't know when that will be as island-wide assessments are being conducted at this time. Outpatient elective surgeries and all other GRMC services will resume their normal schedule tomorrow on Wednesday. And upon declaration of Core 4, they're urging all GRMC employees who are scheduled to report to work. Meanwhile, we are awaiting confirmation on when airport operations and flights will resume at the AB Wanpat International Airport. Dozens of flights were canceled on Monday due to Typhoon Manghut. We're told the goal is to get the flights back up and running mid to late morning. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or check out the Guam Daily Post Facebook app.
That's the goal. I'm in communication with Sam. It's possible the first flights might start coming and going about 6 o'clock tonight, though. For the most part, everything that was scheduled to have come and gone prior to noon today, afternoon and evening arrivals and departures. The morning arrivals and departures totally canceled. Afternoon, evening arrivals may experience some kind of delays. He's working on that plan. When he's got it, he'll give us a call here at the radio station and let us know what's happening with United Airlines. 8:11 in the morning. Here's the weather. Partly sunny, breezy, isolated showers and thunderstorms this morning. Southeast winds to about 15 to 25 miles an hour. And then it's going to start improving. We might see gusts up to about 35 this morning. And then the winds ought to decrease to just about nothing before too much longer. Highs near 85 degrees. Overnight lows lingering about 77 degrees. Sunset tonight at 6:25. We'll have sunrise tomorrow morning about 6:09. All of our conversations about typhoons and recovery brought to you by Guam Cleaning Masters. Let them do the post-typhoon cleanup for you. Tree removals, debris removal. I was just looking at a friend of mine's yard, and a lot of trees that she used to have in the yard is all laying down sideways. Now, you've got a couple of options. One of them is kind of a complicated means of digging a deeper hole on the other side and then trying to stand it up. Or, unless there's a sentimental attachment to the tree or it produces fruit that's made out of gold, you might just want to consider having the Guam Cleaning Masters guys come by with a chainsaw and start all over again. Give them a call at 646-2002, Guam Cleaning Masters, 646-2002.
Honolulu, Seattle, LA, Vegas, Chicago, New York. With your First Hawaiian Bank United Mileage Plus credit card, you can save 10% on United flights to these great cities and anywhere else in the U.S. Book your tickets at the United City Ticket Office, talk to your travel agent, or go to united.com and use promo code FHB18U. Visit FHB.com/United Fair Sale 18 for offer details and restrictions. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC.
Almost time to get back to the normal swing of the commercial breaks where I tell you about going over to King's at lunch and having the bistec tomorrow. That's the Tuesday special. Tomorrow's going to be sinigang, and Thursday's meatloaf, and then Friday is going to be beef tinaktak, a different special every day of the week so that you can eat at King's every day of the week.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
I think one of the funniest memes that was out in the last 24 hours was a picture of somebody loved their car so much that they took these these little plastic playground mats and wrapped them all the way around the cars. Another guy that took this like saran wrap and wrapped up their car with it.
I ain't how, I'll tell you that. I don't feel nothing.
That's how you know you love your car. That's how you know you love your car. And I'll bet you there's people driving around with Lexuses trying to figure out where they were going to put them to prevent them from getting all scratchy in the storm. Hey, listen, don't worry about that. Next time, just park it on the street because you're going to win yourself a new Lexus from AK, a 2019 Lexus ES350. And when you buy raffle tickets, that helps support the Red Cross. They'll do the drawing on September the 22nd. You need not be present to win, so get them today at Atkins Kroll.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
All right, we got to thank a whole lot of people for helping bring the program to you today. American President Lines, they're shipping the future, Micronesia Renewable Energy. Talk to them and find out, because a lot of people that got houses and a lot of people that rent. If you'd like to make $400 off your landlord, call MRE and find out how they can help you do exactly that. Guam Regional Medical City, first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs, and American Water Tech, smarter water, better water.
Ray Gibson brings you closer to the action. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Hard to believe that we 24 hours ago, a little bit about sports, and then we went into full-blown typhoon mode here at the radio station. It sounds a lot clearer on the television, but that noise that you're listening to is not what it sounded like outside the radio station last night. But what maybe it sounded like on television, right? The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that's
it's a
cyclone
twister.
scene,
It's a
the
twister,
scene.
Annie. I'm a twister. Well, we didn't get a twister last night, but we sure got some wind. And to hear the guys over at the National Weather Service said this has not been certified yet, but it looks like the toughest winds in the entire Mariana Islands as a result of Manghut going through here. It was on Guam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Out of all the whole region.
60. Brandon said this morning there was 67 mile-an-hour sustained winds and 87 mile-an-hour gusts recorded up at Anderson Air Force Base, which a little bit higher than what we saw on Rhoda. Even though oddly that they got the iPass, weird. But then you get the other part of it is wow, iPass up in Rhoda. Everybody talking about dodging the big one, dodging a bullet. How about that? How'd you do? You didn't sleep last night, did you?
Not very well. It's hard to explain to a toddler that her iPad doesn't work because there's no power, there's no internet.
Daddy.
It turns on. She doesn't understand why the YouTube Kids doesn't work. But it turns on. So we got through it, though. And other than that, just a couple. My neighbor went all around cutting all the trees over the weekend. He's a very good prepper. And funny enough, there was still one that fell. The only one he didn't cut. And it ended up falling. But it was out of the way of anything. So when it fell, it fell over. And that was pretty much it.
It's going to be that kind of work. Yeah, I feel for you. And like I said, it's one of those things, especially with toddlers, where they're trying to figure out why things are different than the way they were. And it's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
It's going to get worse. Daddy, can you get a data plan tonight? Can you call? Don't you know somebody? You're the guy on the radio, Dad. Call somebody and get it going.
Yeah. Why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it work? But,
because that's why.
It was good for a while. And then what happened was that we got a little cocky before the network went out,
Oh, you should have downloaded.
Well, the thing is, we didn't show her for a long time. They were like, it seems like it's going to hold up. And so we played it for her, then it went out. And then so once we showed it to her and we took it away, she was not too happy.
Yeah, tricky. Tricky. And at any rate, that's life in 2018. You got kids. That's something that you got to deal with. Yeah, it works. Well, if it works, why doesn't it connect to YouTube or Hulu and Netflix? You've got to fix this. I need to have access to the internet. I got to get to the web right now. What's going on? We should probably do this here. 8:19 in the morning, and it's time for sports with Blake Cobb. Well, this is interesting. We talked with Art Perez earlier, and he told me that 40% of 63 distributor feeds at GWA or GPA were back online. It's not a significant percentage, and apparently it's changed. Getting a story, GPA begins recovery work with 80% of the island still without power right now, and those numbers are going to fluctuate back and forth, if as you might imagine, as a result of the storm. Did you keep power on last night for the most part?
No, I lost it at around 5. All the ice cream melted, milk went bad. Yeah. But everything else was out. I mean, I was prepared, but I mean, I didn't eat the ice cream in time. So that melted a little bit. But and the milk, the milk went bad only because
it just means it went soft serve. That's all.
Yeah. And then the milk just went bad just because we actually bought some from base. We got some family members that can get on base, so we put in a big order of milk before we knew that the storm was for sure, before.
Smart.
Yeah, and so once we knew the storm coming, that was the first thing we thought of was, dang it, we just bought all that milk.
Yeah, so you're one of the people that is responsible then for the raid on the Anderson Air Force Base commissary? I think that's what it will go down known as.
This was before.
Never mind the typhoon. You mean the raid on the commissary that weekend?
No, this was actually before.
It
like
was
I
like
said,
Venezuela, those shells.
It was like a week before. It was like last week. It was like Wednesday or Thursday. So it was before we even knew we were going to get the storm.
All right. Now, was there any sports at all that's worth reporting? I mean, we've got NFL, right? We still got Monday night game that we can talk about today.
Yeah, we do have that. But before we get to that, just because this won't take any time at all, the IIAAG schedule, more to come. But the only thing that was scheduled for yesterday was the high school cross country. I doubt that went on because it was supposed to run around 4.
That would be the perfect time to run cross. I totally would have done it.
It would have been a nice and breezy, that's for sure.
Imagine the time with that tailwind.
Yeah. I mean, they put an asterisk when there's too much wind. It's pushing you or preventing you. Sometimes you get an asterisk on your score, but that would have been perfect.
Well, that shouldn't count if it's a typhoon because everyone gets the wind. So.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. 8:21 in the morning. And speaking of IIAAG, let's see if there's anything on Catholic school sports with Tony Diaz. Good morning, Tone.
Hey, good morning, Ray. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing okay. A little bit tired, but that's just because we've been gunning and running since about Friday on announcements and getting things squared away and taken care of. But I'm not going to complain because there are a lot of people that have been doing it and are still doing it this morning. So that's it for me. How about you guys? How'd the church hold out?
Well, it's still early. We're assessing, and we wanted to announce. Of course, people have already been informed about the Catholic schools not being open today. We wanted to let people know that the Chancery office will be closed today. Father Jeff was up there early already assessing. There's a number of pretty hefty branches down in the areas blocking the driveway and other areas. It's going to require some workers with chainsaws and stuff. We are letting the Chancery employees know that when the all clear is given and when it is clear, the individual supervisors may be calling them to report just to help clean up and stuff, but that would be as needed, and again, they're individual.
Yeah, some work that needs to get done. Anybody done all the assessments on the churches, or your parish priests chime in and say whether everything's okay or not?
Not that I know of. At the schools, individual schools, again, will on their own be calling their staff or teachers to clean up, but that's an individual thing. We did note some flooding near Dominican school for the kindergartners, but again, I don't have anything definitive.
Any major funerals today that need to be postponed today, last couple of days?
If there is, and I hear about it, I will announce.
Okay. All right, but you just want to let everybody know the Chancery, the Archdiocese Chancery, is going to be closed until after everybody can get in there and clean up. That's too bad. There's some nice plants and trees up there.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Again, thanks for all that you have done in the last several days, you and the staff and, of course, all media. I particularly liked at one point where you reminded people, hey, you're doing okay, but maybe check your neighbor or the person down the street. Do they need help, or someone you might know, especially if they're alone? That's really a nice thing, and very much an island thing. So,
really?
Thank you.
You thought that was the best part? No, I'll tell you. No, I'll tell you what the best part is. I'll put it on. I'll put it on Facebook Live so everybody can see it. As far as I am concerned, and this is just me being old school Catholic, grown up and raised on Guam. I consider our salvation here this morning. I consider that due to every Catholic mom on Guam praying to Santa Maria Camalin to protect us. And I put that up on Facebook. I put that up on Facebook just before I left yesterday so that people could meditate on the idea that, there is something about the power of prayer, and there's something about asking your mother for help.
Definitely. No doubt about it. I would add prayer all the time, in good times and in bad times.
Yeah. No harm in that. Are we going to get a message from Archbishop Burns today?
He's right out there when the men were doing the shutters. He was out there helping to put up the shutters, the steel shutters, and along with Attorney John Terlahi. So as I arrived at the chancery, I was like, "Oh man!"
Yeah.
But
well, no, that's leadership. That's the way we do that. It's leadership, buddy. Is when you've got when there's work to be done. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm being shown somebody. Somebody's distracting me with candy. This is bad. But when there's work to be done, that's how you know you got a good boss. He's out there with the rummies doing it, and that's the case with our Archbishop. And I'm glad to hear that. Hey, listen, I'm going to let you run. I want you to have a terrific day, and we'll let people know that the Archdiocese Chancery is going to be offline for a bit.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, my brother. I'll talk to you pretty soon. 888-8255-826 in the morning. Okay, so sorry, nothing on Catholic school sports.
Yeah, nothing.
I tried.
I was really hoping that there was going to be an update or something.
Nothing today.
Yeah, nothing.
All right, what can we look forward to then in the next few days? What's on tap?
Well, if we get TV back, we've got 2 games tonight in the NFL. If our power and our cable comes back, Monday Night Football rolls on. Did we tell you we got 10 people in our group?
Well, that's because we're giving away a high-end, state-of-the-art Bluetooth speaker system that will also charge your phone to the winner of the thing. Now that we've got 10, I'm happy to give that out as the prize.
Me and Mike Knight in there, we're holding it down for the bottom part of the top 5.
Okay, but of course you're not eligible.
But no, yeah, and I said that to say that we have 3 people ahead of us, 3 listeners out there who are ahead of us. BRJ Guam ended the week with 91 points. Doraka has 86. Punch You in the Mouth has 80. Mike Knight in there has 77, and me, I have 73, and that's the top 5. And then there's a big point gap.
Of course, that's still pending the 2 games tonight.
The 2 games tonight.
Okay,
yeah.
so when is the last time that anybody can jump in? Is it the end of this weekend's play, or the beginning of or the end of next weekend's? What'd you guys decide?
No, they really should be signed up by the end of this week, because once you get past the second week, they could. I mean, they won't even be able to catch up, especially with the points situation being the confidence points. It adds extra score to you. So.
And we actually have. If you remove me and Mike Knight, we have 12, but there's 13 of us in total.
All right, we'll spread the word. Go to the website. Go to point.gu on the World Wide Web. The point.gu. I think the instructions are there.
I'm actually yes,
they are,
okay. And I'm actually pleased. I got 10 out of 14 so far, correct.
Well, Ray, you know what's
that.
crazy is that everybody, because it's not an option, so everybody had to pick between Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and they tied.
Yeah,
so nobody got that. Nobody got it because they tied. It's not an option.
Wait a second, yeah.
So we all, so everybody picked either one, one or the other, and nobody got it right because it was a tie. So very rare that we get tied in the NFL, but it can happen.
All right. Well, here's the good news. Here is at 8:28 in the morning. We got headlines with Mindy coming up here in just a second. The good news is we're beginning to hear about more and more places that are opening up, and I'm beginning to hear more and more about food places that are opening up. Carl with a K called in and let me know that Cracked Egg with a K is open for those of you that need that. Shell in Jigo, the mall intersection, and at Agutya is open right now. KFC is going to be opening at 10. All of the McDonald's restaurants are open. Winchell's in Tamuning, according to Mindy, is open. And that was yesterday when we were in here yesterday with people calling, is this open? Is Linda's open? And is Winchell's open? It's like, if I don't get my donuts and my clam chowder, I will die.
Is it still the same? I know they changed it up, and people are like, it's still the same. But is it?
Let me ask the news lady. What do you mean you don't know it? What is that? It's virtually every newswoman I know and have known.
I have not eaten Winchell's clam chowder in years.
Right, and then they had the thing. They had to stop serving it because the vendor stopped. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They stopped making it
But
because
they
they only made it for us.
But they found somebody else, right?
They found something close, which I think it's a good substitute. But some people are like, "Oh, it's not the same." But to me, it's the same. Still good. It's clam chowder. You can't mess it up. It's good.
Look, everybody, it's
No,
it's
you
like
can-
beer.
oh.
You know,
I guess
the
so.
first beer somebody comes to you and says, "Here, drink this beer. You never tried it before," and you go, "Oh, I kind of don't like it, but let me have another one." And by the third beer, it's your new favorite.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same
taste
thing
the
with
same.
with the Winchells. It's clam chowder, for heaven's sakes. That's the crackers might make all the difference in the world. GRMC visiting hours will resume after Core 4. All of the regular elected stuff is tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wendy's in Upper Tumon is open. We've got the mall opening up at 10 o'clock. Your favorite store or restaurant might not be open. It all depends on how fast the businesses can get their employees to get back to work.
Did you get the BK announcement?
I got the BK announcements.
Yeah.
They're all open now. So we got Burger King in Tumon, Airport, Hagutnya open as of 8 o'clock this morning. Linda's is open, Kings and Harmon is open, and Dusitani is open. There are a number of places that will remain closed for a little bit. The Archdiocese Chancery, Dr. Yang's Dental Clinic is going to be offline this morning. Dr. Wahadi's office at the clinic is going to be open tomorrow. And Staywell offices, the pretty new offices on Route 8, are going to be closed for the remainder of the day, but they'll get back to work tomorrow. PFC is closed. First Hawaiian Bank here and in Saipan and et cetera are closed today. If you've got announcements that you'd like us to take care of, if for no other reason than to get your employees back to work this morning, 888-8255 is the telephone number. You can
I have
WhatsApp
an announcement.
me at 988-5874. And yes, sir, you in the Island Print shirt. What's your announcement?
Yeah, Donna De Jesus is a goddess.
Oh yeah, she brought our coffees here, and I know you said it, but she got it from 76, so they're for sure open.
The 76. Do we know which one?
I believe she got the one close.
The one at
Yeah,
the
I
airport?
think that EPAL.
Airport.
Okay.
That's where she went.
Yeah.
Sorry for knocking your.
That's all right. That's where, so you go there for the fraps. I go
Throwing
there
wires
for the
over
beer.
here.
It's all right. Hey, you know what? I'll clean up. I'll clean up after we
things
leave.
at Mindy.
Well, Ray, I would have had her get the
I'm not
beer.
coming
but
back anymore.
I had one out of the ref that you had left over. So.
One of the what?
The beers.
You had one of the,
I
that
already
I
had
left
one,
in
yeah,
in the refrigerator?
I left you one.
There's some Heineken Light in there. So
Yeah,
Happy
I put
hour
it there.
somewhere.
I put it there.
I was looking for coffee, and I found beer instead.
Because I knew it was going to be 8 o'clock last night, and I knew I couldn't leave here last night at 8 o'clock, so I set it up so that after all of you abandoned me yesterday at 8 o'clock, I kind of kicked back in the office and listened to the generator go, and popped open a couple of cold ones.
So you had power then.
I had electricity, I had air conditioning, I had water. It's we've got really solid internet here.
Oh yeah.
And the only reason why I went home was because I didn't have a change of clothes.
Oh.
It's because I left the house.
And you're the one who taught me to always do laundry before these things.
I had the.
He had clean laundry.
It was
He
just
said that the other day.
all at home.
It just wasn't
forgot
here
to
at
pack
the,
it.
at the radio station. Well, because like I said, I was moving fast trying to get from one place to another and make sure transmitters were online, which paid off because at 5 o'clock this morning when 4:45 when I pulled in, it was us and public radio that was on, and so a little extra effort to keep the lights on, to keep the generators churning, and all of that stuff pays off this morning. It's 8:33, and I'm going to let you go and finish the morning show on Star 101.
One quick note: I just saw this. Game 3 is scheduled for Tuesday tonight. If interrupted, it'll be moved to Friday. So that's it. That's the last.
So there
one.
is going to be baseball in Mudville.
Yes, if it's not called off, and if it is, it will be Friday. So
8:33 in the morning. That's Blake Watson. He works over at Star 101. Mindy's got her last newscast of the morning coming up next.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pantosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and a Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
What is the first thing out of that woman's mouth? Janice says something about cheese curls and hot sauce. Oh, is that a thing?
I don't know.
You have Korean descent here. You've got exotic flavors. Before, is that something that you've craved at some point or
curls
another?
and what?
Cheese curls and hot sauce, Tabasco or something like
I
that.
mean, I've heard of chicharron in hot sauce, but not cheese curls.
I'll try it.
If you can find cheese curls. That's the thing, is the Meiji cheese curls aren't sold anymore for some reason. It's 8:34 in the morning, and time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Hey, look, it's Mindy Uggan.
34 minutes past 8 o'clock on this Monday morning. Here are some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. President Donald Trump is scheduled to receive a briefing from Department of Homeland Security and the Federal Emergency Management Agency later today by phone and tomorrow at the White House on multiple storms that are predicted to affect the U.S. in the coming days. That includes the one that just happened here on Guam. Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders issued a statement this morning, Guam time, and in response to hurricane preparedness efforts by the federal government. She said the White House has been in contact with the governor's offices and local authorities in Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands, as well as other areas in the U.S. mainland. The ones in the mainland obviously are preparing for Hurricane Florence. The briefing will include an update on Typhoon Mangkhut that passed over Guam and Rota on Monday night, bringing with it typhoon force winds. The typhoon warning, meanwhile, was lifted for Guam this morning, but Guam remains in condition of readiness 1. Island-wide damage assessments are underway this morning, and Guam Power Authority crews are working diligently on power restoration as much of the island is without power. GPA spokesperson Art Perez said crews are out this morning making assessments on transmission lines to restore some of the major circuits first, feeding critical infrastructure in the Guam Memorial Hospital, then moving on to the villages. Public Works crews are also out on those streets trying to clear debris that has made some roads impassable. We've received multiple reports of vegetation and fallen trees blocking some streets, as well as some downed power lines. Residents are urged to stay indoors and off the road today until the all clear is given. Residents can expect gusty winds to continue that could reach up to 35 miles per hour, especially this morning. A small craft advisory is in effect until 6 a.m. tomorrow. We're expecting combined seas of 10 to 12 feet, and a high surf advisory remains in effect for Guam, along with the high risk of rip currents. Residents and tourists should stay out of the water. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com, or of course, check us out on Facebook. And just a quick note, Ray, all of our home delivery subscribers should have their newspapers already. We postponed having our drivers go out until it was a lot safe and calmer this morning. So I know that a few of them are still out. There were a few places on Wistick Road that were blocked, so we were not able to get to those residents there. Heard. But as soon as those roads become passable, please give us a call at our office, 649-1924, and we will make sure that we get a paper to you today.
Shouldn't be too much of a problem. 888-8255. A couple of other things that are worth talking about as well. Before I get to the break part of this, Evergreen Health Center patients of Dr. Wahadi Clinic will resume tomorrow. Was there another announcement here? Rico asking if we are Core 4 yet.
No, and according to the Joint Information Center, I called them just about 30 minutes ago asking for an update. They said island-wide assessments are going to be conducted first before they make that determination.
The sun's been up for 2.5 hours. And Glenn Leon Guerrero had been driving down the south even before sunrise.
Even the crack of dawn. So
I'm going, okay, how much more assessment do we need before people, are able to go back out? Fact of the matter is that a lot of people didn't work yesterday and need to get to their jobs so that they can make 8 hours today on top of what they were missing yesterday. And there's families out there that have got no internet that need to run to the gas station to get a cable and a little battery pack
to charge it
so
up.
their kids won't will stop freaking out. So Chaddick on the assessments so that we can open the roadways and get everybody moving along with their lives. It's like, what time does Home Depot open? What time does Benson open? Those are some of the questions that we'll try to get answered before the end of the day. Thanks so much for coming in. I know a little bit more of a pain in the butt this morning than it was yesterday.
It's all right. It's our job.
It's the job. That's the way to put it. 8:38 in the morning. That's iConnect time. They are the practical choice. Mobile, internet, and push-to-talk plans. For details, call 888-8888 and find out why they are the practical choice.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training every morning on The Ray Gibson Show.
His name was Marcus Aurelius, and he lived a long time ago. Yet, a lot of what he said works in today's world. I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, we'll see what we can all learn from a very unique leader.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point by Jerry Roberts at guamtraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts on The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point.
Yep. Here I am slaving over a hot microphone, and I'm getting word on a couple of chats here about several friends of mine that are getting together for an early morning post-typhoon breakfast because nobody has to work today. Save me something till about 10 o'clock, guys. I'll hold out for about another hour and a half, and I ought to be available for you before too much longer. Traffic, there's no traffic. I'm not seeing anything on the traffic gizmo. There might be a little bit of a tiny bit of buildup for traffic that is moving from the intersection of 4 and 10. Is that right? Yeah, 4 and 10, going from 4 on to 10. Looks like it clears up by the time you get to the Ta'i Road area, so maybe just a few cars that are stranded waiting for somebody to make a right-hand turn or something along those lines. That's right now traffic here on The Point.
The dreaded flu season is here, but FHP Health Center has got you covered. Protect yourself from the flu by taking advantage of FHP's Flu Clinic, open to all ages from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at FHP Health Center on Saturday, September 15. The clinic is free for Take Care members and those with Medicare Part B primary medical insurance, $20 for individuals with Take Care as secondary medical insurance, and $25 for self-pay non-members. Walk-ins accepted. For more info, call FHP at 646-5825.
Oh, I thought this was the one where the guy talks. Okay. Got a note here from a friend of mine on the radio station WhatsApp. Again, 988-5874. That's 988-5874 if you've got something to report or funny pictures that we'd like to see. Otherwise, I'm looking on Facebook, and I can see some of those posts as well. My buddy says, no Docomo and IT&E cell service in Estumbo. I'm leeching off my neighbor's hotspot. Ha 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 ha! How do you do that? I thought they were more sophisticated little Wi-Fi gizmos that are out there these days that have very highly detailed, hard to hack through numbers.
But if they don't put a password on it, it's free and open for everybody.
And
you'd be surprised how many people forget to put a password on their routers.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I had mine open for a long time. Just cause. I mean, it was like, I knew that the people around me at the time already had their own system. So unless somebody was doing what was called war driving, which is the idea that you drive by people's houses or businesses and looking for open Wi-Fi circuits that it's kind of a random thing, that my internet access was probably safe. It wasn't until later I got a note from one of my buddies that works at one of the internet companies. He says, don't do that. Don't do that. People stealing your service, and theft of service it's a big issue. You shouldn't let people get away with it. Whatever. 601, half dozen of the other. It's 8:42. And while I'm waiting for a couple of other things to get lined up, I'll go over some openings and closings here in a second. But I do want to caution, because the last thing that we need is another week of panic. And we've already been through this with the guys over at the National Weather Service. They are aware of a formation out around Pohnpei. So you're taking a look at the weather maps and you're going, okay, there's Guam, there's Manghut. Manghut is moving away. It's not going to be a problem for us. They say maybe Luzon out in the Philippines might be the next on its list. But everybody, and then you look to the right. You look east, and there's something out there. And the guys over at the National Weather Service are aware of it, and there could possibly, in fact, I think there's an invest on it, but it may stop there. I don't think they believe that it's got the juice, and I don't think the models are supporting the juice for a full-blown formation on what you are seeing over the Marshalls. So I'm already seeing a bunch of those pictures floating around on the internet, and do me a favor, if you would. I know you want to be first with the news and everything, but hold off on pressing the forward button on that, because that's just going to create anxiety that people don't need right now. If it looks like it's something that's going to turn into an issue, then trust me, we'll do what we did again.
Yeah,
we'll be here, and we'll put announcements on the radio and all of that. In the meantime, let's concentrate on what we've got in front of us. We concentrate on the recovery of the island after the blow that we had. School's still out on who had the biggest wins. According to my guy at the National Weather Service, they were talking about winds up at Anderson Air Force Base gusting as high as 87 miles an hour. 67 miles an hour sustained through Anderson Air Force Base, a very tip-top of the island. And so imagine how much quieter was where I am. Was for most of the night, where you were, and maybe if you were in the central and the south. So this is the part that freaks me out, because I was looking through the windows at the radio station thinking, wow, look at that weather out there. Man, that's just crazy. There's 100 miles an hour. The eye must have passed over the radio station last night, right?
Yeah, like that video that I took yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is crazy weather. Oh, my God. One of the guys at the National Weather, we should take video of it and send it to them and say, we've got a microburst here and they're going, yeah, that might have been like 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, that was nothing.
That's it. Feel ripped off, man. So I don't know. It's one of those things. 8:45 in the morning, and getting through a lot of the heavy information and the heavy information that you need to know about. Yeah, we're aware the power is out. GPA is already out there looking at everything, trying to make the assessments, and they will start hitting switches and as much as they can, starting to turn on the lights. And if the lights stay, okay, great. But there might be some cases where in order to get the lights on at your house, they have to turn the lights off someplace else. So there's going to be a lot of that. The system is still kind of delicate this morning, but we'll get through it. Question that I've got, any babies born last night? Any babies born yesterday? With details on the maternity report, here's Dr. Tom Shea. Good morning, Doc.
Hey, good morning, Ray.
How'd you do last night? Any scores?
Just had one just prior to the typhoon, so that was good.
Yep. That's it?
That's it. That was good. That's it. But, we had very minimum amount of pregnant moms that came in. We only had about 17, so that's very unusual. And like I said yesterday, remember I was criticizing Peter John?
Yes. Yeah.
You should have listened to me, because what happens is that when you don't have the loved ones coming in with them, you tend to just stay home. And that's usually the case.
Mm-hmm.
That's the human nature of the beast. But hopefully Peter John learns from that. But who knows? If I was administrator, I would handle it a little differently.
Yeah, well, and as you pointed out, if it came to bullets, and you got a husband and a wife, and you're delivering, and the babies could possibly come, and they're calling, but the dad has to stay home. I think that could go south real quick. So we might need to learn how to make accommodations. Maybe when we build the Dr. Tom Shea Maternity Ward and Delivery Center at Guam Memorial Hospital, we can build in plans.
No, I think I'm going to let Golf go and take care of that. I'm going to do my own thing. I think I'm going to be starting to talk to Kapiolani in Hawaii, and I'll probably build a women and children's medical center myself. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes in the next 5 years.
Wow.
I'm kind of tired of dealing with Golf Guam. If they don't want to put moms and babies as a priority, I'm going to start venturing out to a private side, and then we'll build a women and children's hospital here on Guam, hopefully in the next 5 to 6 years before I retire. And then once that's done, hopefully this will bring up the standard of care, and hopefully Gulf Guam will learn from that, because they're not putting the moms and babies as a priority, obviously, over the last 4 years. But we'll see.
Even though there have been ample opportunities to do so, and it's funny, you think about the incredible amount of money that has come into the government of Guam through taxation and withholding and just grant money in Section 30. $9 million in comparison is not a lot. I mean, it's a nothing of a percent of the amount of money that the government of Guam has earned in the last 365 days. You'd think they would have been able to take $9 or $10 million and put it to someplace where there's such a valuable and obvious investment that we can make in the health and welfare of the moms and babies.
That's right. And then, I think...
But what did we get? But FestPac was fun, right?
I don't know, what, 15 million? I don't know. I guess it was 2 weeks of big partying. I guess it was worth it for Gulf Guam.
Whatever. There we are just spending money we don't have for people that don't live here.
It's okay. Ray, water under the bridge. Let it go. We move on. I'm just happy that this typhoon wasn't that serious, Like I said, I told you the wind wasn't going to be that high. It was under 80 miles an hour, I think.
Yep.
Maybe it's where the gust was up to 80. But here in Tumon and Tumuning area, we really didn't get hit very bad. You know what's good sign is when I open my shutters and trees are still up. and that's a good sign.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing, and I'm going to ask you again, because you've been delivering babies around here for a long time. Do you suppose that the conception rate was rather high last night?
You know, I get texts, not just from you, from the other people too, that ask me the same thing.
Well, yeah. Is there going to be in 9 months from yesterday? Is there going to be a surge in obstetrics, gynecology, and baby delivering?
Well, they better get the labor and delivery renovated real quick. I tell you. You know, if I was Guam, if I was the governor, I would hurry up and do so. But we have a new governor that coming in, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
But is that real? I mean, based on your experience, where there has been inclement weather or whatever.
I don't think it's real. Let me just tell you why. Why would you want to, have a baby when it's hot and muggy and uncomfortable? There's no AC. You know what I'm saying, Ray? It's just not.
Well, not having the baby. Nobody wants to have the baby when the conditions are like that. We're talking about the conception of the baby.
Yeah, I know. I'm always trying to be, professional and talk. You have to ask me that every time. Every typhoon, you ask me the same thing.
Yeah. Well, because I get new listeners all the time. There's people just discovering how much fun it is to listen to this program. So
why don't you call me back and mark today's date?
Yep.
About 36 to 40 weeks from now, we can talk about it.
And see if there's some kind of surge, because there's already people talking about. I'm confirmed, right? I'm a confirmed Catholic, which means that I can be anybody's godparent now. So I'm just putting that out there. It's like I'm a universal blood donor, so people know about that too. And whenever somebody gets sick, I get a telephone call, and so it's important that you've got options like that. So yes, so 36, 38 weeks from now, we'll take a look at the calendar, and then we'll call you and see if you're really busy.
That's right. And you know what was so great about yesterday? The Green Bay Packers. Oh my God! Did you see the game?
Oh my God! Did you see the picture that your daughter posted?
I know. Oh my gosh! She was like, after the first when Aaron Rodgers went out, my daughter was like, oh my God, that's it, we're done. And then I think she kind of turned the phone off. She couldn't watch it. I said, yeah, turn it off because you might just go into labor.
Your daughter is extremely pregnant.
She is very pregnant, 36-plus weeks. I'm just waiting for a call. So I said, put the phone down, turn off the TV, and go rest. And then I kept watching. And then later on, the third quarter, I texted her, Aaron Rodgers back. And then my wife said, stop it, don't do that.
You're going to stress her into labor, for heaven's sakes.
But hey, we won by 1 point. That was the biggest comeback history in Green Bay Packer against the Bears.
Let me just check with Coach Mike Knight here. Michael, did you call that game for the Packers?
Yes, I did.
All right.
You did?
Oh, absolutely. Man, the Bears are nothing, man, and Packers are always there.
They were good. They were good. They spent a lot of money this past off season.
Well, it's just to get one guy.
Yeah. Hey, Doc.
To give up their future, though. They traded off
that's right.
first-round choices.
Are you all sold out on that Four Seasons deal?
Oh, not yet. We haven't published the tickets yet. The Four Seasons coming December. You got to come. December 19th and 20th.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah.
Valley. Yeah, Franklin Valley and Four Seasons. Yeah, that's coming in. They're good.
Yeah, well, I wasn't able to make the last show, but this time I'm gonna make extra special plans to be there. So let me know when we're getting closer and closer to that, so we can have the big fans and people that saw him the last time come out and see him for another visit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, buddy.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go because I know you've got a debate to plan in just a little bit. So we'll let you get back to work and go deliver babies. And big hug to McKenna. We'll see how the baby comes along. All right.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye. 8:52, Dr. Tom Shea this morning, and only one baby born before the onset of the damaging winds. Didn't have anybody. All of the moms that he takes care of. I don't know what the deal is at GRMC and their baby squad there, but all the people that he takes care of, apparently only just the one.
Yeah, the whole typhoon bringing about labor is actually more myth than anything else. On the other hand, full and new moon phases will sometimes bring about labor.
That's from the gravity thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
8:53 in the morning, 888-8255. That's 888-8255. As you start waking up and moving around,
When do I start
mention
that?
No, I've got a friend in the Garden. I was wondering if they were getting called out, and initially it didn't look like it, but apparently there's been some kind of call up here. We knew that there was going to be some. I just didn't know who was going to be affected. They need the guys in the men and women in the Guard to go and start road clearing. But my guess is as power begins to come on in some of these dark pockets that we have around the island, we're beginning to see, okay, this intersection doesn't work, and this intersection is upside down, and this intersection here needs some work. So I think there's that. But there are a number of other places that we can tell you as you start, as I said, moving around here on the Tuesday morning after Typhoon Monday, going, okay, I ate everything that we bought. I went to Anderson Air Force Base Commissary and bought everything that was on the shelf. Left them bare and ate it all yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Where do I go get some chow now? Where can I find something to eat now? And even though it's Core 4, and even though they said, well, we'd like to keep the roadways as clear for as long as possible, I think might be a good time to start looking around and getting a shave on your face and clean out the mugo from your eye and start thinking about where you're going to go and get food. I know Kings and Harmon is open. Linda's is open. I know that because my big sister brought some food from Linda's for us to eat here at the radio station. Yes, everybody loves you now more than they love me. Burger King, virtually all of the Burger Kings are open. They've got one that needs to open at the mall, but that won't happen until the mall opens at 10 o'clock this morning. Wendy's, they seem to be opening up here. Guam Regional Medical City going to be opening their doors after Core 4 is announced to visitors. So that lockdown that they did is going to be concluded. Like I said, the mall opens at 10. Winchell's in Timuning is open. I'm told that virtually all of the McDonald's on Guam are open. KFC trying to get open by 10 o'clock this morning, so I think they're going to be late for breakfast, but hey, they got chicken.
Just in time.
Chicken pot pie. Nice. The Shells in Chigo at the mall and Hagåtña are open. Cracked Egg with a K is open. Bank Pacific, for those of you who need some dough, they're going to be open at 10 o'clock this morning until 4. Guam and Saipan.
Cracked Egg with a K. Lower Tumon, right?
Yes.
How is it? Been there?
No.
Oh.
I have not had the opportunity to go by there. One of these, I'm told it's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm told it's good. I haven't had a
full
chance to
house
go
all the time.
Most of the time, yeah. Bank Pacific, anyway, the ATMs are up and fully stocked. They sent out a guy with a wad of 20s and said, okay, let's go. You know what would have been cool is if they'd have sent a guy with a wad of 20s with some 50s and 100s inside.
Yeah,
just some random bills. You know, Phil, come on. Just, hey, if you need money, post-typhoon, walking around folding
ATM
money,
potluck.
you go to the Bank Pacific. You go to the Bank Pacific ones because we want you to be happy that we dodged this bullet that they were talking about. Now, there's still some places that are closed here today. First Hawaiian Bank, Pacific Finance Center is closed. The Staywell offices up in Mighty are going to be closed till tomorrow, as is Dr. Wahadi's office. Dr. Yang's Dental is closed, and the Archdiocese Chancery is closed as well. If you have anything else that you need me to add to the list, hey, listen, we're not charging today for this kind of thing. If you are a business, if you're one of our clients, obviously call in, and I'll give you the quote added value. If you're not one of our clients, but you need to get your employees back in, and you need to get customers aware that you're going to be open for business today, I'm not going to sick my account executive on you, okay? You can just call in, and we'll run it like it's a public service announcement, especially if it's someplace that sells for the people with no electricity. I mean, who's got ice? Who's got ice right now? What time does the Home Depot open? What time does Benson open? What time does the hardwood place up in Dededo open? So if you're listening right now and you're going, hey, I wonder how I'm going to let people know I'm open, call in 888-8255. Won't charge you anything for it. If you got a WhatsApp deal, hey. Add me as a contact, 988-5874. That's 988-5874. Mindy writing in that the Bank of Guam is awaiting word on Core 4, so they are closed right now. I imagine that some of the ATMs, they're a little bit more accessible and sheltered from the weather, might be open for you. So if you've got one of those bank cards, then you're going to have to wait until they're open to do anything with it, or if their ATMs are working. And I don't know which ones are. I think they might have everything to do with whether or not the building is energized. The Department of Education had sent out an announcement a while ago that I thought maybe I'd read to you. All Guam Department of Education school-based 12-month employees employees should report to their respective school sites to conduct post-typhoon assessments once Core 4 is declared. 12-month central office employees do not need to report. Employees may contact their school administrators if you want more information. And I got to let you know about this as well because it's important. I hate cleaning after a typhoon. And I don't want to have to worry about it, so it's possible that among the phone calls that I'm going to make when the all clear is done is to Guam Cleaning Masters. They will handle all kinds of cleanup inside, outside the house, debris removal. Got a tree down, they'll come and take care of it, get rid of all kinds of junk. 646-2002. That's 646-2002. Mike, before we get into the Fox News, was there something that somebody wanted me to add to the conversation here?
Bob said that although the Tall Tales headquarters took a bit of a hit with the storm, Tall Tales will be on the air at 4 this afternoon.
Did he want to call in with a sit report from the Tall Tales headquarters?
I'm sure he could be convinced to do that. 76
in Anigua is L-I-T. That's my nephew using that millennial language. It's lit. Isn't that nice? I don't know what it means. I'm pretty sure it's a good thing, right? So he's lit, she's lit. The Anigua 76 is lit as well. 888-8255. WhatsApp at 988-5874. And yak with me on the Facebook Live. Got questions, got comments. I want to hear about them. Still got another hour of the program. You and I right here on The Point. KUSG, Agana.
Watching Florence. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A warning from Virginia Governor Ralph Northam.
This is a serious storm, and it's going to affect the entire state of Virginia, and not just Virginia, but our neighbors to the south.
He's ordered mandatory evacuations for low-lying coastal areas beginning at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Virginia, Maryland, and the Carolinas declaring states of emergency.
By Thursday morning, we're looking at this storm sitting off the coast of the Carolinas. Winds still up at 140 to 150 miles an hour. So this is going to be a wind maker, likely making landfall Thursday evening into early Friday morning. Now, where will it make landfall? Anywhere perhaps from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, running you up into the Outer Banks.
Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz. Airlines starting to let passengers change plans. American says it will waive fees for customers booked on flights Thursday through Sunday for flights to or from about 24 cities, including Charlotte, North Carolina. In the Pacific, Hurricane Olivia expected to approach Hawaii in the coming days as either a high-end tropical storm or a low-end hurricane. She thought she was encountering a burglar. That's what one investigator is saying about an off-duty Dallas police officer who shot and killed her neighbor.
The case against Officer Amber Geiger is set to be reviewed by a grand jury, resulting in possibly more charges beyond manslaughter in the killing Thursday of 24-year-old Botham Jean.
I'm not satisfied that we have all the answers. And the number one answer that I want is what happened.
Reaction from Jean's mother. The city of Dallas says the off-duty officer parked on the wrong level of her parking garage before she says she entered Jean's apartment that she thought was hers. She's free on bond as the investigation continues.
Fox's Jeff Bonasso, Fox News, fair and balanced.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas starts in September. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
A federal judge cuts off any comments from the lawyers in the case of a Russian woman accused of spying.
The judge presiding over the espionage case of Maria Butina has imposed a gag order on the prosecution and defense attorneys. The ruling came after the judge said that Butina's attorney, Robert Driscoll, was issuing public comments on the case too frequently. The bench also sided with prosecutors, denying a motion for Butina to be placed on house arrest, indicating the court feels she may try to flee the country. The judge did find some fault with prosecutors for saying the defendant used sex to gain political access. Butina has pleaded not guilty to federal charges against her. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Risk to election security among the principal security threats facing the country. Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen with that message at a summit on the subject in suburban St. Louis. She says threats to election systems are real and evolving. A month after voters cast their ballots, one of the closest races in Kansas history is still being questioned.
Incumbent Governor Jeff Collier not challenging his narrow primary loss for the GOP nomination, saying he's determined to keep the seat in Republican hands.
We will endorse the winner, Chris Kobach and Wink Hartman.
But now a challenge to Kobach's bid for the governor's seat getting reviewed by the State Objections Board after an objection by activist David Hammett, who contends that hundreds of legal ballots were not counted, something Collier's supporters initially raised questions about before he conceded, losing by 343 votes out of more than 317,000 cast.
Fox's Lillian Wu. Olivia Newton-John has been diagnosed with cancer for a third time. The Grammy winner told Australian TV doctors found a tumor in her lower back late last year. She says she is treating it naturally and doing really well. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Guam is coming back to life. Guam is coming back to life, and there's breakfast waiting for you at King's. Have you heard that? King's in Harmon's open. I'm pretty sure King's in Tamuning is open. And if it's not, send me a thing on the WhatsApp and let me know that they're not, 988-5874. But it would be great news if everybody was open already so that we can get to the beefsteak tomorrow at King's. That's the big luncheon deal. Find it today, would you?
Fuso trucks are sold, rented, and serviced exclusively on Guam by Morico Equipment. Available in van body, reefer body, freezer body, or flatbed designs. Fuso trucks specialize in the smaller delivery and service market. Perfect for business on Guam. Serviced by qualified technicians. Fuso trucks are part of the Daimler Truck and Freightliner truck family. Sales, rental, parts, service, and fully maintained lease finance from MoricoEquipment.com. Call Morico on Ipao Road at 649-1946.
Portions of the program brought to you by all of my friends in American Water, Tech Smarter Water, Better Water, Micronesia Renewable Energy, American President Lines, they're shipping the future, and Guam Regional Medical C, the first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Yes, go for Wendy's. Go for Wendy's. Got word that a couple of Wendy's are open up right now, and that means that there's a place to go and get fried rice because they make really, really good fried rice for breakfast over at Wendy's. There's also the I call it the fried chicken with the white gravy on it. You get eggs on the side. Don't fix up the eggs about any way you like them. I like them scrambled, right? And you eat that, and you know it's one of those things. Can I get some extra gravy and a straw? Huh? You know, it's so good, and I think it's so good for you. But that's not the big deal. The big deal over at Wendy's these days is a 4 for $4. So if you only got $4 because you had to spend all your money on, I don't know, other food and supplies for the kids and 4x8 sheets of plywood, then take your $4 over there, and you can still get a pretty good meal for a deal at Wendy's.
The Ray Gibson Show. News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. Turn it up. Now, tell a friend.
It's the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Michael Knight is the sole straggler of what we begin the morning show with. He's over in the other studio and checking on people and checking on some facts that I might be able to share with you here as we make our way into and out of the Tuesday morning that is the morning after the night before. And the night before was, wow. For some people, it was weird and wicked and wild. I got here after Bob Klitsky finished up with the program yesterday, and after the Fox News did 2 hours of our own, calling up some of the usual suspects and getting a situation report on what things were like, what was going on out in the world as we know it. And at that time, we were talking about the onset of the winds and what we might be able to anticipate as the storm was coming through. But one of the other things that I was kind of shocked at was the idea that the eye of the storm virtually swallowed Rhoda. Rhoda, as you know, is not big. I think you can fit Rhoda, all of Rhoda, in like
3
Manila.
Rhodas.
Yeah.
You could put 3 Rhodas on Guam, basically.
And so it was kind of interesting to see that picture on the radar.
It was right in the middle of the eye, too.
I mean, geographically perfect.
Yeah, I mean, the exact center of the storm passed Rhoda.
But there were a lot of us that were worried that there was going to be the eye pass here on Guam and that it was going to be a much stronger storm. But still in all, I think there were a lot of people that were surprised at how strong the storm was. As lousy as we are at estimating wind speeds and storm strength and things like that, there was still a lot of people that kind of had their jaw on the ground looking at the weather, looking at some of the videos that were being tossed around in the social media and the WhatsApps and going, wow, this is a really, really big storm.
But can you imagine?
But there are very few places. I mean, with sustained winds of 67 miles an hour,
right.
That's tropical storm strength. That's high tropical storm strength.
Yeah, almost
not typhoon.
Yeah,
so we didn't technically get a typhoon here yesterday.
No. Yeah, sustained winds never hit that point because the gusts only got it to 69.
Yeah.
So, and that's we dodged the bullet in a lot of different ways. I mean, imagine,
got lucky.
Yeah, imagine what kind of storm they were talking about on Friday and Saturday. Basically, would have been twice as strong, literally, and we would not be talking about going into Core 4 by today.
No. We'd be we'd be as a matter of timing. Core 4 should have been hours ago, but as a matter of policy, condition of readiness, all of that stuff. I mean, we've just got to punch through some of the bureaucracy of the JIC and civil defense and all of that. That's the only reason why we're still in Core 4. The danger from this storm has passed us by hundreds of miles. You get the sunlight outside, so you can see that. But the point is that wasn't a typhoon that we had here on Guam yesterday. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are very, very happy for the investments that they made in the preparation. I know I'm one of them. I tell you what, I'm one of them. Even though I'm not going to use a drop of the water that I saved, I might. Figure out now. I just got to, I got to flush the toilet with my hand, or I could fill up a bucket with the thing. It's one way or the other, right? And some of the emergency foodstuffs and the flashlights and things like that I made an investment in so I could be prepared. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't need it as much as I did. But I'm glad I did. Maybe a generator is going to be in the office. Speaking of generators, I want to say thanks to the guys over at Morrico. We're on the list to get our fuel delivered, and the guy just left and dropped off, I don't know, something 113 gallons of fuel that goes into our generator outside. So I need more advertisers. I'm just because my deal with Morrico is I still have to pay. Yeah, I'll be happy to come over and put the diesel in your generator, but you're going to pay me, right? Yeah, that's the way that works. 888-8255 is the telephone number. And I was down here, as I said, in the central part of the island, Upper Tumon, if you will, and I didn't see anything any hairier than a lot of wind and rain washing on the road as I was making my way home. But even that, at 11 o'clock last night, I still thought it was kind of a hairy ride. And so I was wondering what things might have been like up in Jigo, a little bit closer to the bottom edge of that eye wall that passed through. And to tell me all of that is the afternoon guy, Bob Klitsky. Good morning, Bob.
Hey, good morning, Ray.
How'd you guys do? How'd you and Auntie Lou do last night? Please tell me it didn't knock all the beetle nut off the trees?
We got through it fine, but I have to tell you that the Weather and Climate Office of the Tall Tales think tank
Yeah.
has ruled that we did have a typhoon in Jigo.
But the numbers don't bear it out. Anderson Air Force Base, where we saw peak winds for Guam, was peaking at 67 mile an hour sustained. That's far. That's what is that? 7 miles less than 7 miles an hour less than typhoon strength.
Well, I guess it depends on a matter then of credibility. Would you take the offering of the Anderson weather folks as superior to the Tall Tales think tank Weather and Climate Office?
My preference, of course, is to defer to the Tall Tales guys.
Of course.
In which case, there was a typhoon last night.
Yeah, I stuck my head out at 9 o'clock, and I've seen enough of them over the years to know when I see it. And,
yep.
If there wasn't a typhoon, it was a pretty good facsimile thereof.
Yeah, well, got my attention at a couple of places when I began to observe a little bit of it. There was a time I was worried about the car. You saw where I parked the car yesterday, and so I thought there's a better place on the compound to go and get to it, and it was a short walk from the front of the building to the front door of the car, and I was absolutely soaked in that short amount of time, getting from one place to the other, and I'm relatively of smaller stature these days. I weigh 165 pounds, and that wind was blowing me around. And I thought, yeah, maybe it does feel like a typhoon.
Well, if you think it was bad at your altitude, you should have tried it up there at Tall Tales height. It's blowing even harder up there.
Well, I'll bet, but it certainly brings back a lot of memories from the storms in the once upon a time that we had. Certainly nothing like Super Typhoon Pamela in 1975, but it's still reminiscent of it, right?
For sure. Yeah, Pamela was really a bad one, and it stayed for so long. It was like with us for almost a whole day,
That's what people tend to forget about Typhoon Pamela. There's this myth that it flipped around and went away but came back, and frankly that didn't happen. But what did happen and what caused all of the devastation and destruction was the fact that we had 150 mile an hour winds sitting on top of us literally for something like 13 hours.
Right.
If I remember my Pamela lore correctly, I think that's about right.
That seems right, Ray.
And crazy times. But thankfully, we're not living. I think there's going to be a lot of people complaining about the power not going back on. GPA continuing to make their assessments. I believe that you are still without power up in Tall Tales land in Jigo, right?
And it's kind of strange because we lost it early. When I was driving home from the show, the power was on in downtown Jigo, but not on in Paris Acres. And this morning I'm out walking, and the traffic signal in downtown Jigo is working.
So wait a second, isn't it on the same line?
One would assume so, but the intricacies of GPA wiring exceed the capabilities even of the Tall Tales think tank guys.
Well, you got to go back in time for things like that and find out where it was and who it was that put all of that stuff together. But one of the things that I think is going to be worthy of a little bit of a chat here, maybe when we get into defining the rounds of Bob Klitsky's Tall Tale shows here, is what about consumer protection? There were a few things floating around on Facebook and people complaining that something as simple as just a plain old white wax candle were selling for $4 and $5 a piece, and a picture of a department store selling water, and not the fancy water, not Voss or Evian or something like that, just plain old Hanam Guam water from Pepsi for I don't know $13, $12.89, $39 for a case of that stuff. And there are a number of people out wondering, isn't that against the law?
Yeah, we do have an anti-gouging law in the books, I remember. I'll come down to the station a little early so I can get online and cite the appropriate section of statute.
I'll tell you right now, it's 5 Guam Code Annotated, Chapter 32, Section 21.
All right, well, very good. Of course, up here in the Jigo hinterland, we can't get online, so I won't be able to actually take a look at it till I get down to
I'll leave a copy of it for you, and it's interesting because there's certain things that the governor might be able to do, like this morning, and that is make a declaration along with his declaration of an emergency the other day. Just declare that all prices, as they were prior to the onset of Condition 2, when was that? Friday afternoon, are fixed until 120 days. Because we might see that same thing happen on rental. The other issue is that we've got 2,000 plus people that were in shelters last night. Arguably, some of them will be going back to where their house was, or to housing situations that may have been worse, which is why they had to escape into the Department of Education system. And so it's foreseeable that there might be people that have got apartments to let and someplace where these folks can live, and knowing full well that they're going to be a little bit more in demand, there might be a desire to change those prices upwards. And that's something that the governor can, by law, prohibit.
Well, we'll take a look at that this afternoon. Of course, the good news is that for anyone who is a life member of the Tall Tales Buff Society, there will be no increase in the dues.
Oh, well, how about that? How about that? For at least 120 days. Well, Bob, listen, I want you to have a fantastic morning, and I hope you get all recovered in time to make it on the program at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And there are going to be some interesting things. I've only seen one newspaper yet this morning, so I don't know how your press the meat is going to be going. But I think there's an interesting number of things that you'll be able to chat about, and things that I think are going to be interesting to talk about, including how do we keep more food on the shelves in times of this kind of induced panic that we had, this induced weather panic. The idea that the commissary on the Anderson Air Force Base and the variety of shelves all around Guam and some of these grocery stores that were just made bare with nothing to replace it should be a little bit alarming.
Well, I'll put the Tall Tales think tank economists to work on that. And I'll pick up analog copies of the two newspapers so we can still do Jenny Cutney.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to let you...
I may have to have the writers rewrite the whole show, because it's hard to have a card when nobody's fighting with anyone else.
At this point, no. I'm not seeing a whole lot that is not weather-related news that is out there. There were a couple of interesting things yesterday that I thought might be worth talking about. Getting more cops and safety officers. Actually, there's a story about more safety officers in Tumon, and I thought, well, that's good. I don't have a problem with the safety officers and the guys in the yellow shirts riding the bicycles and taking selfies with the tourists. Although I think we need more police officers on the streets down in Tumon to act as a deterrent. We've already got folks in the diplomatic community that are telling people as they come to Guam, enjoy Guam. The surf is wonderful, the sand is wonderful, the shopping is wonderful, and the food is wonderful. But make sure you're back in your hotel room by 10, because the wildlings come out.
Maybe we could issue temporary concealed carry permits for tourists.
I would not. Hey, listen, you know how I feel about the Second Amendment. I think everybody ought to have one. I think frankly, I think there's a bunch that would have a good time with it.
Lieutenant is quoted as saying, "Need no Second Amendment. We just carry word."
Yeah, there is that line of thinking that there should be no prohibition on the application of the Second Amendment. And if you want to fight that war, you've got your 2 hours.
Very good, Ray.
All right, I'll talk to you pretty soon, Bob. You have a terrific morning.
Thank you, sir.
No, thank you very much, sir. It's always nice to hear from you, and nice to hear on the radio at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Tall Tales with Bob Klitsky. As I said, if I needed to jump into it yesterday, I had them standing by, table of contents deal for the Ray Gibson Show, and that was on them. More safety officers in Tumon. At least one guy writing online in the Facebook Live here this morning, should GVB advise carriers from refraining of flying tourists knowing the status of storm conditions? This reads like Morse code here. Feel sad for those that arrive Sunday only to experience a storm on their holiday. I understand, but I don't know that we're in that business. You take it as it comes, and the same way that we needed to prepare for the worst, we should always be prepared for the worst. And yeah, there was some inclement weather around here. And it started like it was going to start going south, but what are you going to do? Hey, keep your money. Come back when things are better. We need the money now. We need the dome now. So, and then the other thing is, I suspect that if you talk to a number of people down in Tumanway that come out here, the Koreans and the Japanese and the Chinese, I bet they had a little bit of an adventure here with this storm. We got pretty close to danger.
Yeah.
There was a thrill there.
Yeah, and they're in their hotels. They're perfectly safe.
Yeah.
They got power. They got water. They got food.
Internet. Yeah, there's
everything
restaurants
they need.
downstairs.
Yeah.
These guys.
To them, it's like it never happened.
Yeah,
basically.
look out the window and go, wow, look at that weather. That's the most amazing thing. This is, this is frightening. My goodness.
Now let me play my farm animals game.
Oh, exactly. I'm just saying, what in some cases, I'm sure it was a thrill. I'm sure for the little kids, it must have been some kind of a thrill.
Got some lane closures out here on Marine Corps Drive in front of us, right in front of DPW. They're fixing the signals.
Oh,
they're already at work.
Oh,
because
the turn lane signal. If you're facing north and trying to turn into iConnect,
it had been blown upwards.
Yeah.
So and they're working on that and the wiring over there. So right now, though, a couple of lanes closed right there in that spot, and so.
Way to go, guys! 9:24 in the morning. Mayor Melissa Savars from the mayor's out. When is Angel coming back?
He's here.
Oh, he's here. Oh, we're calling you because I thought he was off island, and I figure you're the next smartest one over at the mayor's office.
No, I'm Angel's here.
Okay, well, I don't want to talk to him. I want to talk to you now. Tell me about what you are hearing just in Dedido, and what you are hearing from the other villages as we're talking about this all clear situation.
Well, I don't hear very much from the other villages because everybody's busy doing what they're supposed to be doing. So, of course, our main thing when daylight came raised that the roads are passable. So we had different teams out there in different areas making sure first our primary roads are passable and then our secondary roads so that people can get to work or the emergency vehicles can get through. So that was our priority this morning when daylight broke. Mm-hmm. And then we're also, we're preparing to do the second-tier shelter. The schools are getting anxious because residents who are checking their homes are realizing that their roofs are not partially gone.
Yeah.
And some in the substandard homes, some walls have fallen in. So we're preparing that second-tier shelter for the shelteries that cannot go back to their residents.
Where are you going to put them?
Well, we recently last year renovated the Estumbo Gym as a second-tier shelter, and that was a CDBG grant through the GURA. And so the Estumbo Gym is retrofitted to be that second-tier shelter for the north.
Okay. So I was worried about that. Is that we talked with Oya from over at the JIC earlier with Art, and big population of people, 2,000 plus folks that found themselves in the shelters, and virtually every single shelter in Dedido and in the north end was filled up, absolutely packed. Now some of these people are going to be just fine and go back to wherever it was that they were staying and resume their lives. Others may find that big chunks of their personal infrastructure are gone, and what happens with them?
Yeah, so they will come into our second-tier shelter at the Estumbo Gym.
When do they anticipate returning the schools back to the Department of Education? Have you heard that?
We can get the shelteries back out of the schools before noon, and then with that they can start cleaning that up, and hopefully the kids can go back tomorrow.
I'm listening for the sound of the children on Guam squealing with delight that they'll be able to return to school on Wednesday.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm not hearing that though. About how much of Dedido is still without power? What's your guesstimate?
The GPA crews have been out there working diligently. We should have power.
What are you eating? You're eating something.
I'm sorry, Ray. This is breakfast.
I know, that's fine. I'm just wondering what you're eating. Where'd you find it? There's people up in Dedido going, hey, there's food. Where'd you get it?
King's is open, and the gas stations are open as well. So
All right, that's good news. I mean, you got to share that information. So you pass by someplace where people want to go, you got to spill the beans and say, all right, guys, King's is open, and in the Harmon location. While we're talking about openings, Outback will be open at 11 o'clock, and we'll be serving lunch, and then later on today dinner. So if you were looking for one of those Outback deals, you know, and the bloomin' onions and that, they've got that. We'll have that waiting for you a little bit later on, starting at 11 o'clock this morning. But anyway, so what are your thoughts on what were you saying about the power up in Dededo? Is it starting to get turned back on?
The crews are out. So certain isolated areas that had transformers blow up yesterday, we see that they're working on it this morning. So, you know, it looks like we should have power. Hopefully by tonight.
Well, I'm hoping, depending on what it is that they've got to replace. I mean, I don't know how much of the power infrastructure has gone out. I asked earlier for a sit rep on generation. I haven't heard back from Art on that. Maybe we'll see if we can ring him again. And when we spoke with him at 6:30 this morning, he said 40% of the 63 distribution lines were up, and that means obviously that 60% of the distribution was down at the time. And then I heard something else that it was closer to 80. So I think that we might be going into a situation where there are dark pockets even tonight.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, the crews are all in different places with bucket trucks, and I think they did a great job a few weeks ago clearing those overhangs around power lines.
Yeah.
So that really did help, and so it looks like we'll probably be on. Everything should be on by this afternoon.
Well, I keep my fingers promised. And have you been entertaining the FEMA guys already?
No, not yet.
Okay, they're supposed to be rolling around making their assessments, and as I'm told, there are operation FEMA guys, and there might even be a couple of accounting FEMA guys. So make sure you ask about maybe getting some compensation for things in the mayoral infrastructure that you've lost.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Yeah, well, I know that's part of the process. Is once we get into Core 4, one of the first things that they're going to be asking you to do at Homeland Security is to start putting together your spreadsheet on all of the expenses associated with the storm.
Yeah, well, we've been taking pictures as we see trees that are down blocking roadways.
Right.
We've actually been taking pictures before we actually cleared it.
Oh, smart move. Okay. Mayor, I'm going to let you run. I got a couple of other openings I want to take care of, and if there's anything that you need your villagers to know about, call us 888-8255, because if it's Melissa Savares, everybody knows. Raymond said the answer is always yes.
Okay, Ray. Don't promises for us.
Take care of you. Go enjoy your breakfast. I'll see you later. Speaking of breakfast, IHOP in Tumon and Tamuning is now open. Happy to add them to the list of places. If you got to go out and forage for food because you ate all the snacks, who told you to eat all the potato chips?
But they're so good. No one can eat just one.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so I did that the other day. I went to get my provisions because I was working like a coolie out in getting everything ready.
Right.
And I went to the gas station, and I got 12 of this, and I got a bag of potato chips. Oh, no. And I swore to myself I wasn't going to finish the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Gone. Just one after the other. And it's not like I was doing anything. It's not like I wasn't watching TV. I pulled the chair up to the porch of the house and just sat there and drank my beer and ate my potato chips and watched people drive by. Oh, look, there's a red car. That's a potato chip. Oh, it's a pretty Jeep over there. Okay, that's a swig.
Did you get 2 potato chips and 2 swigs for every Volkswagen Beetle that drove by?
I might have slug bug. No, I didn't quite do that, but close. 9:32 in the morning, so let me just get that. Let me just finish this thought here on what's open and what's closed. So IHOP Tamuning and Tumon is open right now. Applebee's will open at 11 o'clock. So if you're hungry for something other than the potato chips and stuff that you bought at your place, then that's where you're going to be going. All right, what do we got? And a note from somebody. Ernie Galito says, can you announce that Atkins Kroll will be closed today as we prepare to open for business tomorrow for both sales and service? Not a problem, Ernie man. AK is closed today for sales and service, but they will be open tomorrow for sales and service. Just want to make sure that everything is okay and safe for the customers as they come back to work.
Also got a call from a listener, customer. You know, they're always our customers. Anderson, easy for me to say, the Air Force Base, turning away all but essential personnel. He said he and his crew were supposed to go up there, and they're not essential, so they turned them away. Yeah. So only essential personnel can go into Anderson today.
Well, how do they define essential?
I guess if you're like contract, you know, a contract employee or something, then no.
If you're in charge of the button?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're essential.
Right.
Okay.
But only if you're the suitcase.
Well, there's an excuse for those of you that have gigs up on Anderson Air Force Base that just woke up from the Typhoon party last night and going, oh, dude, I'm supposed to be on my job. Just say that you heard that all non-essential personnel were getting turned around. Now, we're not hearing the same thing out of Navy or Navy Hospital, right? So it must be just an Anderson thing for now. Currently 9:33 in the morning, and if you've got any openings and closings, 888-8255. Feel free, literally free to call it in. Happy to put these things on the air for you as a public service, or send them on the radio station WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp. You can tell it's ours because it's 988-5874, and if you look at the phone, the digits on the phone, 5874, translates to KUSG. Hey, wow, so fancy. Got the call sign in the numbers on the WhatsApp, 988-5874, and be happy to take some of those announcements and put them on the air for you. Absolutely no charge. It's 9:34, as I say, and we'll call that iConnect time. They are the practical choice. Very practical choice. I'm sorry, somebody's sending me a note. Did I get the number right? Yes, you have the number right on the WhatsApp. Happy to hear from you as well. So start sending me funny pictures and information about what's open and what's closed where you are. I was on iConnect, right? They're the practical choice. You don't need to pay any more than you absolutely have to for things like push-to-talk, for things like mobile plans, for things like internet. Call 888-8888 and find out why iConnect is the practical choice.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
We better get around to addressing this a little bit more officially, and that is, like I said, there's a meme that is floating around now, and it's a picture of the Western Pacific, and there is Typhoon Manghut that's moving away from Guam and the Mariana Islands, and then there's a picture of the other storm over by Pohnpei and Kwajalein that some people have dressed up to make it as scary as possible. Don't do that. We've already had a weekend of panic buying, panic shopping, and I don't think the community needs any more excitement. I have, however, found a different meme that clears things up, and it's from the guys over at the weather ambassadors in the National Weather Service that says Typhoon Manghut over here. And then over where that little low-pressure system seems to be, a big box that says, no development currently expected. That's what I'd like you to share. That's what I'd like you to share on your WhatsApps this morning, and that make that one go around, because we don't need to entice any more anxiety in this community. There's a lot of people that are still kind of stung from what they did go through, and a little bit of anxiety about what they could have gone through.
Yeah, Brad was asking me about it even just yesterday, and I was like, look, dude, let's let one thing end first before we start looking at something else. And then I took a look at it this morning. Models are showing absolutely nothing. It's just clouds, so no need to be concerned about that at all. By the way, Guahan Insurance called, said they will be closed today, but they will reopen tomorrow morning at 8:30.
Roger that. We're probably not going to be doing any openings tomorrow morning. I got a feeling by then. I'm still trying to figure out why we're not at a core 4 by now. It's in 20 minutes. It's going to be 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So I got the meme here from somebody. It says Typhoon Manghut and tropical depression brewing. Okay, unless you work at the weather place, don't tell people that there's a tropical depression brewing, because it's fake news at this point.
See, it's just this kind of thing that I've tried to combat by having that Facebook group that I have. And by the way, anybody that wants to get actual accurate typhoon and tropical weather information for our region, I'm gonna push it here. Go to Pacific Typhoon Season on Facebook.
Yep.
And you can join that group. And we only give official information. Yeah, we do allow people to give some of their theories and things, but it has to be put in a certain way so that it appears to be a theory and not fact.
Yeah.
And that's a really important thing, because misinformation these days, it is lightning fast.
Well, what's the deal here is a lie or falsehood will go around the world twice before the truth has a chance to put its pants on.
And that was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it'll get around 10 times.
Unbelievably fast. So it takes a while to undo some of the damage that some of these memes can come from. Everybody, I know, I get it. I'm in the talk radio game. I want to be the first. When the price of gas goes up, I want to be the first guy that goes on Facebook that says so. I'm the guy that when there's an earthquake, I like to hit the Facebook right now and say, "Did you feel it? That must have been an earthquake." But there are people that, it's like the idiots that were running around yesterday that were throwing around that story that GPA was going to turn off the power at 6 o'clock. Why, in God's name, would they turn the power off at 6 o'clock? Why would they want to do something like that? First of all, if there was going to be damage, there was going to be damage whether the system was on or not. So it's not like it saves anything when something like that happens. It's just another kind of example of people getting a little bit ahead of themselves. I do want to thank, we've been very, very blessed in our coverage in that it was paid for. I would have come in anyway. But it's nice to know that when things start to turn inclement, that there are people running around your businesses that will support our ability to provide you with news and information. That's what somebody's writing this morning. Thank you for doing a great job keeping us informed. No, thanks for listening. That's the point of it. I appreciate you being out there and allowing me, trusting me to bring you the correct information on a timely basis so that you can use it. So it goes in both directions. I'm fond of saying we in the broadcasting industry, and it's not just me, it's everybody that's on the air now, we act as in the public interest as a public trustee. We're on your airwaves. And so it's our obligation to give some back to the community when it comes time to do so. Public service announcements, news, information, all of that. But this year, worried about after typhoon cleanup, don't let it trouble you. Guam Cleaning Masters can do the work for you. They do tree removals and debris removal and disposal and any kind of type of typhoon-related cleanup. Call Guam Cleaning Masters at 646-2002. That's 646-2002. You know what I'd love to do right now? We're not going to, I don't know that we're going to be able to do it, but what I would absolutely love to do at this time is toss out a call. There's guys at the Department of Agriculture, and let's say, as an example, one of the last trees that my mom planted before she passed away is in the backyard. It's an avocado tree.
Right.
And I remember asking her, why the hell did you plant an avocado tree in the back of the house? It's going to block the view. And she said, I like avocados. If as an example, that got knocked down but didn't kill it, there is a way that the guys at Ag know how to kind of dig a hole on the opposite side of the fall so that it goes back straight. And then all you got to do is stand it up and then backfill the other side, tamp it down a little bit more. But I'm probably grossly oversimplifying the process.
No, but it's about right. I mean, as long as the root system stays intact for the most part, the tree will be fine. You just put it back in the slot and let the ground grow back over the stump.
See, that's what I'm thinking. You just got to the problem is you've got roots that had been compressed that are now open. That's why you've got to dig a little bit more of a hole and then stand it up and do all of that stuff. Because otherwise, what you will end up with is something that we used to see at my dad's house. He had a bunch of mango trees in the front, and one of the storms came, knocked every single one of them down, and he just kind of left them there. And they all kind of tried to grow branches that went straight up.
But that's when you bring...
But you could tell that tree had been knocked down by a typhoon.
Well, that's when you bring people over from out of town and you say, that's the infamous Guam leaning mango tree.
Yes, we
It's
grow
only
them
growing
like
here.
that. No, they grow just like that here on Guam. 9:42 in the morning, and 888-8255 is the working telephone number around here. It's still a little bit concerned about a couple of things that might be crossing your mind as we go through this. And what about price gouging? I don't know that we're going to see a whole lot of that, considering the fact that we were not smacked with as bad a devastating storm as we could have. But still, in the run-up to this, what were you paying for a 4x8 sheet of plywood? What were you paying for fuel and butane and kerosene and all of the other things that you need? Did you notice that the prices on those went up? And you're going to go, yeah, well, that's supply and demand. And the answer is no, it's not really supply and demand when it's conditioned to the prices are supposed to lock in place and stay that way until after some kind of an all clear is given. Still some time for the governor to act if I think the governor needs to act. I don't know. We'll watch and see if there's any more complaints like that. I'll be watching the social medias to sort that out. You know what we haven't done at all yet this morning?
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
It's nice to be here and see many of the familiar names that made it through the storm last night. Janae Uggan there, Rick Leone, Kevin Kinatoff, Rico Blancaflor. No, I don't know when we're going into Core 4. They didn't tell me yet. DJ Cure, Nason Nicholas, and got Mark Lizama, Von Cruz Beneventi, and who else? Bunny Dog Chamorro. Who's just now finding out that Burt Reynolds passed away. That was last week, bro. It was, we already did the Cannonball Run tributes. Already talked about what a great movie Sharky's Machine is. Can I just say that? And I'd say, you know what? Everybody, you need to go and find Sharky's Machine on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon.com or wherever it is that you're finding movies and watch that, because I think it's one of the greatest, certainly one of the best shoot 'em up, bang bang Matahau police movies there were.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. You know, with the guy at the end, he falls off that building. Incredible stunt.
Nice.
Incredible stunt. But anyway, so that in and of itself was terrific. So we've already kind of done that, Booney Dog. I'm really sorry. Pop's Bakery was on earlier. I see Vivian Sudo, Christine Evangelista, Lorena Unkenko, Lainey Beneventi. Hey, nice to see you there. Karina Ludwig, Jennifer Schnittger, Florence Cruz, Maka Moylan Alston, good to see you there. What did Jennifer say? Netcare is closed. Okay, I think I got that word out. Sam Beanie, and I forget where she is. I know that she is watching this from a ways away from here. But Jacqueline Diaz, Alan Cienzo Torrado, wondering if there's work today. Alan, there's always work. Michelle Kitsuzu is there. Charles Estevez said back in July that GHS no longer will be using CORE, but will be using CEMP. What is the CEMP? I don't know either.
No, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I'm a little surprised we're still using CORE here, but I understand why, because we have 2 military bases. Same reason Okinawa uses CORE.
Well, before we did CORE, and this change goes back to about 2002, when at the end of the Gutierrez administration, the beginning of the Felix Camacho administration, and that was kind of along the ascendancy, if you will, of the Department of Homeland Security, because prior to that there was a Civil Defense Office,
right.
And here it was condition. Right, it was condition, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how we did everything. It's condition, and then they started talking about a condition of readiness.
Yeah, which is strictly a military thing. It really is.
Well, I thought we got the condition system from the military.
Yeah, well, probably
as opposed to watches and warnings.
Yes,
which is the way it's done everywhere else, right? But here we were raised with it was condition 1. That's how you knew it was bad. We were in condition 1, and like I said, they came out after that with the change and started calling it condition of readiness. And there were all of us that had grown up in the just condition 1 were going, why do we need the extra words? Do they not mean the same thing? Can we just say condition 1? But no, so everybody had to relearn and it was never really explained to me to my satisfaction why.
Okay.
That we had to go. I mean, you just assume that a condition meant that you had to be prepared for something, that you had to be ready for something.
Yeah.
But now, and so do we do a condition of readiness for tsunamis?
No.
Is there a condition of readiness for earthquakes?
No.
Is there a so if we're just talking about weather, why did we need to change from the one threat description to another?
In most cases, I would say it's purely speculation on my part, but it was probably to give some terminology that the military people were more familiar with, because that is a military term.
So everywhere else, it's a condition of readiness.
Yes, yes. In Okinawa, their military base, yeah. When things get dicey.
And then here was just condition, and we just used condition.
Right.
Because we didn't have the money for the extra ink. Condition of readiness. It just took too long to say.
And it might have been confusing some of the military folks here. Stranger things have happened.
I suppose. Yeah. But I remember that there was something that we were not happy with. And there was I was in talk radio at the time. I was just getting started in talk radio. And that was something. I'd kill an hour talking about that.
Somebody out there will know the exact reason.
Sean Gumatauta. It was Sean Gumatauta. And Sean Gumatauta, we hear from him every once in a while from the courts. Sean, at the time, and for a long time, was the governor's spokesperson. And that was among the first things that he needed. And Sean was on the radio every 20 minutes, if you'll recall, because there was always something going on. So it was a weird transitional period, because at the end of the Gutierrez administration, we had a pretty big typhoon that bled over into the beginning of the Camacho administration. And as a result, those were some of the things that we had to keep in mind. As I said, there was this transition period, and there were fiscal things, there were policy things, there were new names and new people that were in charge of different departments and agencies that needed to get broken into. And sometimes it was just easier to call Sean and say, Shawnee, what the heck is going on? And then he'd get an answer. I'd do the same thing now. Go talk to him over at the courthouse. Shawnee, what the heck is going on? And be able to get some kind of response from him. 10 away from the top of the hour. Where was I? I was still on names, right? Michelle Kitsutsu is there, and Tony D'Angelo, Pauline Okada, Bruce Dinsman. Pauline Okada reporting that Leo Palace Road is impassable at this time. Well, that sucks. Which part of it? Going from the ORDOT side to Leo Palace? Impassable? Hope we get somebody on that. Brad Dunnigan, Deanna Palmer, tropical depression developing, heading our way. Take a look at the weather map. Deanna, we've already been through that, and I don't want you to worry about that. God, there are no models that predict that is going to turn into anything, and if it does, we'll let you know. In the meantime, let's deal with what we've got in front of us. I see Mike McCarthy and Francis Salas, Clint Jane, Al Khalil wants to know, when can we expect the power to be up and running out here by Jeff's Pirates Cove? The weekend for sure. The weekend for sure. I'm not getting a whole lot of information. We might want to try to dig up Art just before we conclude the program today and see if there's anything new. I know that there are assessments. We know that there's different parts of the system that are down. Frankly, if they could turn things on, they would have already turned them on. If it's just a question of energize here, make a connection, open close a fuse or something like that, they would have already done that. So it's possible that they are finding more damage and more big chunks of the infrastructure that have to get replaced. But I'll find out. Tessie Pareda, Rudy Gaza, I see Rose Oliveras, Mark Mendiola, Aisha Fernandez, Frank Mesa, Eric Taitanu, Marlene Guerra, Felix Regis, Steve Protasio, Melina Montenegro. Wait, there's more. Art Laffer. Shelley's asking, find out when the power might go back on in Barragata Heights. Like I said, maybe right after they turn it on over at Al Khalil's place. He says 16 hours, no power. Plenty fallen trees on Nimitz. Daryl Taggarty is there, who says, even if you can cite the FCC terms of licensure faithfully, you are doing, that's nice. You are doing a great job keeping us informed, relatively speaking. Just cranked up my generator for the fridge and modem, so you ought to be in good shape. And there's Jim Healy there. Who'd you find me? Is that up there, Sean Gumatauta? Shawnee!
Man, my ears are burning here at the court.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what it was? We were just talking about condition of readiness, and that was a phrase. And you'll recall at the transition between the Gutierrez administration and the beginning of the Camacho administration, there were a lot of changes coming through, and that was one of them. The first couple of storms that we had to deal with after which one was that? Pongsangwa?
I think we did it right in the transition, probably a couple months in.
Yeah. And then you started talking about condition of readiness, and I thought, what is that? Some new Camacho thing? What do we? We got to change everything now? But you had a good reason. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, the reason, if you recall back when we established our first response plan under Governor Camacho, it was, to better align our response to those disasters, because when people say a tropical storm versus a typhoon, people seem to be less eager to get ready. Probably the barbecues are out more during a tropical storm than in our typhoon. But what happens when we have, at the time, it just to try to make sure everyone was prepared.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, that's what made people crazy, because we had typhoon condition. It would be tropical storm condition 3, and then it would turn to typhoon condition 2, depending on what was happening with the storm. Right. And everybody kind of knew that. And then we eliminated the distinction between typhoons and tropical storms. That's what it was. There we go.
It just was to ensure that regardless of what type of a storm, whether it's a tropical storm or a typhoon, that they were going to get ready regardless.
Yeah, and I think in this case, in this modern day, in this modern age, and especially with what we've seen happening here in about the last 72 hours, I think there were a lot of people that were. Do I want to say pushing the panic button a little bit too much? Yeah, maybe I will say that. That we're trying to get people convinced that there was going to be a Category 5 typhoon on top of us before the end of the week, and I thought that was pushing things a little bit too far, as opposed to just saying, look, there's a typhoon coming and you need to prepare for the worst.
That's right. In fact, regardless of the hazard, it's always important for us to be prepared. And also, you're right that by heightening it, it did cause a little bit more anxiety than usual. Because I was leaving soccer field on Saturday. I thought, okay, I'll just go get a couple things. But oh my gosh, every store was packed with people. It's like we hadn't been through storms in a long time.
Well, and we hadn't been through storms in a long time, but everybody's talking all of a sudden about the 100-mile, 200-mile-an-hour winds. It'll knock concrete down, and you need to be prepared for that. And so you couldn't find a 4-by piece of plywood without spending double what it was a couple of days before, or so it seemed. And you saw the pictures of the Anderson commissary.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I did. I saw images from all over the island and just was scratching my head. I mean, we were prepared at home, even though Talafofo didn't do too bad, actually. I went from Talafofo down here to the courthouse now. Route 4 was fairly cleared, so kudos to DPW in getting the roads cleared.
Yeah, and frankly, if there was a couple of good rains, without all the wind, we'd probably get rid of some of the debris just because of water and nature moving those things out. I'm glad to hear that you and the family are okay. I was trying to remember what it was in that transition between condition 1, 2, 3, 4, and then condition of readiness 1, 2, 3, 4. I appreciate.
2003. That's when we made the change.
That was all Sean Gumatauta right there.
No, it wasn't me. It was Chuck Atta. Blame him. It's easier.
Blame Chuck. He's over at the airport, so while we're talking about Chuck in the airport, that's the only thing that we need. My understanding from the United guys are all of the morning departures and arrivals have been canceled. They're looking at the afternoon and evening arrivals that they think are probably going to end up being delayed. But frankly, it all comes down to an all clear being given at the Guam International Airport. Once that happens, then the guys at United in Chicago can push the button on scheduling and start moving some planes and some bodies in and out.
Yeah, and that's what we're waiting for here at the court, too, the all clear, so we can do a couple of different things, too.
Don't ask me why we don't already have one. Overabundance of caution, I suppose. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ray.
Shawnee Gumatauta with us on the program. It's 9:56 in the morning, and okay, fine. Okay, here comes the break. I'll be right back.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin,
Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Gerard Afflegui. That's the guy that sells all these cool Guam products online. Just look him up on the World Wide Web. Gerardaflague. Afflegui. Wanted to know, how did Guam fare? Like Typhoon Pamela? No. Pamela was a big, evil, and ugly monster of a storm. This one was a little bit stronger, in my opinion, my estimation, right? And I'll know a little bit more if I can get some driving around in here this morning. But in my estimation, this storm here was a little bit stronger than what you and I would refer to as a banana storm. Padzan banana. Or what's the other one? The one that knocks down the papayas, right? A little bit stronger than that. I lost power. And we lost power here. Morico generator out in the back, and it came right on. So we're good to go. We kept the water, and that's a big change for Guam, because normally you get a blow and we'd lose water and power for a day or two. But it looks like our big problem now is going to get power restored to virtually everybody. We'll try to get you updates on that throughout the day and with Bob Klitsky this afternoon. My mobile data stayed up all the way through. I haven't had any problems getting and receiving any kind of email or any other digital communications and WhatsApp. So that's a good thing as well. The time is 10 o'clock in the morning, and I think we're going to call it a day here. Like I said, Bob Klitsky is going to be back on. I'm going to finish up things around here and then hit the sack for my deserved bedtime. In the meantime, the radio station is KUSG Hagåtña, headquarters for Fox News Live. That and right-wing bomb throwers coming your way all day.
For Florence. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The hurricane well off the coast of the U.S., but the Carolinas, Virginia, and Maryland declaring states of emergency.
We are preparing for the potential of historic, catastrophic, and life-threatening flooding in Maryland.
Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper said his state was in the bullseye of the storm. Florence became a Category 4 hurricane.